You're watching CBS 2 News this morning. Now, from Studio 46.
Pausing to remember the life and legacy of a president. Washington and the nation saying goodbye to Gerald Ford.
50 days for 50 shots, an emotional demonstration underway outside of Queens Police Station.
And when women watching their weight make you wait on the subways, a surprising source of trouble on the tracks. That story's ahead as well. Good morning and welcome in. I'm Kate Sullivan.
And I'm Brendan Keefe. It's Tuesday, January 2nd. John Elliott now has your exclusive forecast from CBS 2 and the Weather Channel. Good morning, John.
Good morning, and thank you, Brendan. Good morning, Kate. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Let's go outside right now and look and see if we can find any 30s. We're going on a little hunt here. We should. Oh no, it's 36 in Monticello. Everybody else in the 40s, well above normal, and that trend is going to continue over the next few days. We've got 46 in Central Park. We've got the mid 40s for Long Island, 46 in Bridgeport, pair of 4s in Caldwell, and 43 in Trenton. Here's the drill for your day today, as many of us are back to school and back to work. Now, it is going to be windy this morning. Watch out for the winds, but 49 for an afternoon high with just spectacular clearing skies, lots of sun, and a really crystal clear night tonight. More on your exclusive CBS 2 forecast coming up in a bit, but right now, right back to Brendan and Kate.
All right. Thanks so much, John.
And a lot of people are heading back to the roads for the first time in a week in some cases. Liz Burke has your Metro traffic check. Good morning.
Good morning, Brendan. That's right. Back to work. Here we go. And just a pretty good ride overall. Just a couple of things going on, and that's on the Van Wyck. Look where it is looking good by the Kew Gardens interchange. No problems northbound or southbound in this camera shot. But out of camera range, there is a big accident on the Van Wyck. That's southbound, and all lanes are subject to closure after Liberty Avenue. So we'll keep you posted on that one. Over to 495 by Kennedy Boulevard. Looking at a decent ride here in both directions. No complaints so far. Though if you're traveling in Franklin Township, there is some flooding going on, and that is closing down Griggstown Causeway between Bellmead, Griggstown Road, and Canal Road. Also, Blackwell's Mills Causeway is shut down between Hillsborough and Franklin Township. Over to the Lincoln Tunnel as we wrap around the Helix, heading into town, no problems. Minor delays across the board for all of your bridges and tunnels. Times Square, a live look here, and we're looking at a very good ride. Quiet so far on this Tuesday morning, and alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect today. Brendan and Kate, back to you.
Liz, thank you very much. To our top story right now, it is a national day of mourning. The funeral for America's 38th president will be held today at Washington's National Cathedral. Gerald Ford died last Tuesday at age 93. Inside the Capitol right now, where an endless stream of mourners have come over the past few days to pay their respects. You're taking a live picture right now. Among them, Ford's widow, Betty, and their children. They spent a final few minutes at the flag-draped casket as 3 days of public viewing came to a close yesterday. Also paying their respects, former Mayor Rudy Giuliani and his wife, Judith. Giuliani said he was struck by President Ford's honesty and sense of leadership when he worked in Ford's Justice Department. CBS 2's Chris Raggi has more on today's funeral.
My kids, it's a legacy being made here. You know, they get to see this and they get to look back and say, I saw history being made. I was there.
Today is a day of mourning. Last-minute preparations and intense security for a funeral that many are calling simple and humble. Thousands lined up, young and old, to file past the flag-draped coffin at the Capitol Rotunda, where the Ford children have actually been greeting visitors. President Bush and the First Lady paid their respects after returning from their Texas ranch. Today's funeral is one which former President Gerald Ford helped arrange and plan with his advisors. There's no fighter jet flyover in the skies above the Capitol, and there's no horse-drawn caisson. And at times, the sounds of the University of Michigan fight song are heard instead of Hail to the Chief. But make no mistake, the eyes of the nation are on Washington, and the world's leaders are here to say goodbye to the 38th president. CBS News' Harry Smith was online paying respects as well.
This is about paying respects to a more common man who, you know, I think a lot of people feel really did work for the common good.
Folks from the New York area have braved the rain and the unbelievable police presence to be a part of this 6-day ceremony honoring the former president.
We thought it was a great opportunity to introduce the children to how special it is for a life of service, public service, and the way that the nation pays its respect to a former president like Gerald Ford.
It's just nice to really experience the history of, you know, a president going into the rotunda and paying your respects.
I think it's very interesting, the whole history and presidents and things like that.
That was Chris Raggi reporting from Washington. Delivering eulogies at today's funeral for Gerald Ford, President George W. Bush, Henry Kissinger, and the former president's son, Jack Ford. That funeral service gets underway at 10:30 at the National Cathedral in Northwest Washington. Then the body will be flown to Grand Rapids, Michigan, where it will lie in repose at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Library and Museum starting at 2:15. At 1 p.m. tomorrow, there will be a private service in Grand Rapids. And finally, the burial service will be at 3 p.m. at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum. CBS News will bring today's funeral service to you live. Katie Couric will anchor special coverage, from Washington beginning at 10 a.m.
To other news this morning, a man police are calling a person of interest in a murder in a salon slang in Orange County is in custody this morning. Acting on a tip, cops picked up a man in the Bronx last night, but not without trouble. A detective was attacked by a dog, which was shot and killed. The person of interest was taken to Middletown, where he is being questioned about the New Year's Eve murder of salon owner Fermina Nunez. Nunez had kept her salon open late as a favor to customers when a robber burst in, took cash, and shot her.
This morning, the mother of Sean Bell is keeping a constant vigil outside a Queens precinct house. Valerie Bell says she is protesting the lack of indictments in her son's shooting death. CBS 2's Pablo Guzman is live in Jamaica with the details. Good morning.
Good morning. We are diagonally opposite the 103rd precinct in Jamaica, Queens. Yesterday, as you said, the spot behind me is where Valerie Bell, joined by friends and other family, said that they will start the first of what will be 50 days of vigil. 50 days, obviously, for 50 shots. According to the New York Sun newspaper, Valerie Bell and about 40 supporters began a quiet vigil early yesterday morning outside the 103rd precinct in Queens. This, she told the paper, to try and get justice for her son, Sean Bell, whom the world now identifies as the man killed when police fired 50 shots at him and his friends inside a car.
He was murdered unjustly, so we're standing here 50 days representing the 50 shots that came at his car, and we believe that God is going to have justice served to the police officers that were involved in this crime.
Meanwhile, the New York Times reported Sunday that Paul Headley, an officer who fired once at the car, was questioned last Wednesday by investigators for the Queens DA. He answered questions for about 2 hours without getting immunity or any promise of favors down the road, according to the paper. A lawyer for the undercover detective who fired first has said his client will also be interviewed without an offer of immunity and is willing to go before the grand jury. CBS 2 News has learned that grand jury, in fact, should begin its work this week. Now, obviously, there will be people taking turns here at this vigil scene, but there will be a news conference, we're told, at 10 a.m. this morning. From Jamaica, Queens, Pablo Guzman, CBS 2 News.
And this morning, Governor Spitzer, the man Sean Bell's family is appealing to, is already making some big changes up in Albany. Governor Spitzer was greeted by former Governor Pataki yesterday when he arrived at his public swearing-in ceremony. But while things seemed warm on the surface, during his speech, the new governor took aim at his predecessor and the political climate in Albany.
New York has slept through much of the past decade while the rest of the world has passed us by. We must change the ethics of Albany and end the politics of cynicism and division in our state.
The man credited with cleaning up Wall Street as state attorney general has now banned from his staff anyone there accepting gifts from lobbyists and barred them from using state cars or equipment for personal business. Governor Spitzer's next big task will be to choose a replacement for Alan Hevesy, the state comptroller who resigned in a scandal over his wife's personal use of a state car and driver.
Here's something to chew on next time you're stuck in a delayed subway. Many of those backups, believe it or not, are caused by crash dieters fainting from a lack of food. CBS 2's Tamsin Fidel is live in Union Square with the skinny on this story. Good morning, Tamsin.
Well, Kate, good morning. If you've been delayed on the train, the MTA is saying this morning, do not blame them. According to Newsday, over 400 delays per month are caused by customers who are getting sick on board, and a majority of them are women on crash diets. It may be winter, but many women are apparently already planning for those bikini-clad summer months. According to the MTA, more and more women passengers are fainting every morning because they're not eating in order to keep that slender figure. That's right. The number 3 cause of subway disruptions between October 2005 and October 2006 is ill passengers, especially those skipping breakfast and oftentimes several meals before. 395 delays per month are caused by this and other health problems like flu and anxiety attacks, among others. The only thing causing more delays, track work and signal problems. If you do happen to be on board with a sick passenger, not to worry. The MTA is prepared with its Sick Customer Response Program, consisting of EMTs and registered nurses in place at several stations, including Union Square, 5th Avenue and 53rd Street, as well as Grand Central Station. But until the rider reaches one of those transit hubs, conductors must stay with the person until paramedics arrive, resulting in some major delays. Now again, Union Square is one of those sick customer response stations where there are paramedics and EMTs. Bottom line, have something to eat with that cup of coffee before you get on board, at least for the sake of your fellow strap hangers. We're live in Union Square this morning. I'm Tamsin Fidel, CBS 2 News.
Always good advice. Thanks so much, Tamsin. Protein is key, right? Other stops with sick customer response stations include Queens Plaza, Roosevelt Avenue, 125th Street, and Fulton Street.
And then you have the problem of people who eat on the subway.
Right,
I mean, you've seen people eat, they leave chicken bones. I see this all the time.
Which is not allowed, right? You cannot eat or drink on the subway.
I think you can eat but not drink. It's
really
bizarre.
Well, keep it clean, though. That's what it's about.
Always keep it clean.
Try to leave the chicken bones somewhere else.
Right.
Oh, look, I'm on a single shot. Hey, good morning, everybody. It is 5:10 on probably the first day back to work, to school for so many of us after a long holiday break. Hopefully you had a great holiday. And my late belated present to you, more great weather after yesterday's wicked rain. Some nice stuff headed your way. Let's go outside right now. And look at this. Like diamonds, like jewels shining in the night. The rain yesterday, again, as always, cleaning out the atmosphere and just leaving us with just a gorgeous view of the skyline. Outside right now, it is 45 degrees. And as you can see, backed up there by the live shot, clear skies, but we do have some gusty winds. The winds out of the west, 15 to 22 miles an hour, and wind will be the hallmark of your morning definitely today. Winds are definitely going to be a factor today and into tonight, but they should decrease in magnitude throughout the course of the day. So let's break it down for you, show you what's going on. The normal high this time of year, 39. Today, 10 degrees warmer. Tomorrow, possibly 15 degrees warmer. Normal low is 27. Sun's up at 7:20, and the sun sets at 4:40. But you know the calculus here. Coolest hour of the day headed our way over the next few days. And look, I've already made my first mistake. The exclusive 5-day forecast from CBS 2 and the Weather Channel calls for those warmer temperatures into Thursday up to 56. Slight chance of rain on Friday. Saturday into Sunday, we are looking at maybe some showers, but nothing like we saw yesterday. Yesterday, not imagining this, some folks in Connecticut where we had the flood advisories in excess of 2 inches of rain. New Jersey, a lot of locations in excess of 1.5 inches. Lynbrook, New York, 1.42. LaGuardia, 1.33. Yesterday, at one time, we had 90-minute delays at the local airport, so it was really a mess. Your weather headlines: cool and windy start to the week, but then mild temperatures return tomorrow. No real cool down in sight, not getting anywhere near those normal highs that we would expect this time of the year. In fact, a lot of our temperatures outside right now above normal as far as your afternoon highs this time of the year. We're looking at temperatures in the mid-40s from parts of New Jersey, Staten Island, and then out into Long Island as well. So we are going to see some big changes. Still a little bit of spin in the atmosphere, still some wraparound moisture, a little bit of snow to the north, but there's just too much warm air on the way. High pressure today is going to serve two functions. It's going to kick up those winds. You see the wind there, kind of a chill in the wind, but then watch out for the warm air headed your way. So we've got mild conditions and some real nice sunshine headed your way over the next few days as well. Sunny and windy, cool today, 49. Boy, that's just going to keep going up and up and up. Tonight, clear and cold. Watch out for that. Still some winds out of the north and west as the winds give way to this warm air, and then we are going to see nicer conditions. Plenty of sunshine and mild tomorrow. Now let's try it again, shall we? From CBS 2 on the Weather Channel. Look, it's the button that goes all the way to the 5-day forecast, and you get two. We're talking about this weekend already, and that little chance of rain Friday into Saturday giving way to, again, just more temperatures staying above normal. So I'll have a clicker review during the next break, and then we'll be back.
Is that like the Wii? Can you do like...
It is, and I've thrown it out the window a few times, and I've got some kind of injury there, but we'll get that.
John, it took you 11 minutes to make your first mistake. It usually takes me 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Usually takes me 30 seconds. Great job. Thank you very much.
It'll be your last, we know as well. So thanks, John. Welcome to the team.
New year and a new Ducis. Any resolutions?
Me?
Yes.
Not to make 11 mistakes in the next 11 minutes. That's my resolution. We got some football to talk about. The Giants and Jets both getting ready for some difficult games ahead. The improbable season continues. The Jets are in the playoffs, but game one is a tough one. Gang Green will be at New England Sunday at 1. Coach Eric Mangini will be facing his former team and his former mentor, Bill Belichick. The Pats took the first meeting in week 2. The Jets figured them out 8 weeks later. Coach Mangini sounds focused.
Every game for us has been extremely significant, and we had to win those games to get to this point. It's a one-game season, and you need to win that game in order to move forward.
Every week it gets bigger and bigger. First playoff game that's against the Patriots. They won Super Bowl, 3 of the last 4 years. Just fortunate enough to be in this situation.
The Giants somehow are in the playoffs as well, and they too will face a familiar foe, the Eagles. That game is Sunday at 4:30 in Philadelphia. The two teams met twice this season. They split in game 1. Eli Manning led a fourth-quarter comeback that resulted in an overtime victory. In game 2, Eli Manning was absolutely awful. A pair of interceptions, including this one that was returned to the house by Trent Cole. The Giants are 6.5-point underdogs. So both the Jets and Giants in the postseason. We shall see what happens. Tough games for both of them.
All right.
I'm not optimistic.
Not optimistic. But you are optimistic about what, 2007?
Oh, it's going to be a great year.
Yes,
It's going to be a
it
great
is.
sports year.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you very much, Ducis. Time now, 5:15. A city police officer at the center of a family tragedy.
Also ahead, searching for clues after a star cornerback is killed. But what happened just before a football player's limo was riddled with bullets?
When animals attack, a young snake handler gets the scare of her life and an incentive for a career change.
And Britney's toxic start to 2007, what she says really happened after the clock struck midnight.
Wacky resolution.
Can Dr. Phil help a 22-year-old afraid to be without her blankie?
You hold your blanket and suck your thumb.
All new Dr. Phil.
People don't want to see that.
Today at 3, only on CBS-2.
My dad and I have been in the septic business for over 40 years. A septic system today can cost many, many thousands of dollars to replace. In my opinion, using Rid-X once a month makes costly repairs less likely.
Rid-X uses 100% natural bacteria and enzymes to break down hard-to-dissolve waste, even paper, to help keep your septic system operating efficiently and prevent backups between pumpings.
I've always recommended Rid-X, and I've never recommended anything else.
Rid-X, the #1 septic treatment brand.
If you've dreamed of a warm and wonderful new fur, now is the time to buy it, because Flemington Fur is having a January clearance like you've never seen before. You'll find real savings of up to 60% and more off our everyday low prices. Choose a fabulous fur or other fine luxury fashion from the largest selection available anywhere and buy it now at an unbelievable January clearance price. Only at the Flemington Fur Company in Flemington, New Jersey.
The K&G semi-annual clearance event is on right now. For limited time only, our everyday low prices are even lower. Save on a wide variety of men's and ladies' fashions. But hurry, deals like this won't last for long. K&G Fashion Superstore. For men, for women, for less.
Used cars, 0% financing, easy credit approval, and hundreds to choose from. Oh yeah, we got them all at the one. Hudson Toyota in Jersey City. Nearly every make, every model, every color. Pick any one and pay just $29 down. That's right, just $29 down. Call now, even if you have bad credit. Choose from cars to fit nearly every budget. Only at Hudson Toyota, Route 440, Jersey City, and online at hudsontoyota.com.
If you have a loved one in a nursing home, please know that bed sores are unacceptable, period. If you suspect neglect, call us, Parker & Wakeman, protecting our elderly.
Oprah Winfrey's New Year in Africa. Who just received her $40 million gift? Then how the stars spent their New Year's Eve. And our Jennifer Hudson Dreamgirls exclusive. Next, Insider.
Tonight at 7, only on CBS 2.
Good morning. 18 minutes after 5 o'clock. It's time to go back to work, and there's the Jersey Turnpike. If you leave now, you can beat that traffic this morning. Doesn't look too bad.
It looks great, doesn't it? Let's check in with Liz Burke in Metro Traffic, see what the rest of the roadways look like. Hi, Liz.
Hi there. Yes, it really does look great. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. And we just found out the accident on the Van Wyck has been cleared away. So you're good to go if you're traveling southbound. All lanes have been reopened on the Van Wyck after Liberty Avenue. Over to the Jackie Robinson Parkway, a decent ride here as well. You're looking good in both directions, and so far so good. If you take the Grand Central Parkway, we're looking good. Also the LIE, no problem so far on this Tuesday morning. Over to the Belt Parkway, taking it outside by Kennedy Airport, a good ride through Queens and then through Brooklyn. No problems westbound or eastbound. Taking it over to one of our Hudson River crossings, the Lincoln Tunnel at the tolls. Overnight construction now out of the way. We do have some flooding, though, in Franklin Township in New Jersey. The Greekstown Causeway is shut down between Belmead, Greekstown Road, and also the area of Canal Road because of that flooding. And also Blackwell's Mills Causeway is also closed between Franklin Township and Hillsborough. So we'll keep you posted there. Alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect today. Brendan and Kate, back to you.
Liz, thank you very much. This morning, police in Denver are searching for suspects in a deadly drive-by shooting that killed Broncos player Darren Williams. The cornerback died and 2 other people were wounded when their white stretch Hummer limousine was sprayed with at least a dozen bullets. Police say it happened after a dispute at a nearby nightclub. Teammates, both present and past, are simply in shock.
It kind of hurts me, you know what I'm saying, because I always looked up to him. You know, I played 2 years with him, and then, you know, we always kept in touch. Once he went to the league for his rookie year, and he was always telling me, you know, just keep your head up.
Investigators don't think Williams was the target. They're looking for a white Chevy Suburban or Tahoe with tinted windows. Before the shooting, Williams and the others were at a club that was hosting a birthday party for Denver Nuggets player Kenyon Martin.
It was supposed to be just another snake presentation at a Florida aquarium, but it turned into a snake scare New Year's Eve weekend when a Burmese python went on the attack. 18-year-old Allison Kobianchi was about to show an audience the 14-foot snake. Suddenly, the python bit her hand, wrapped itself around her waist, and began pulling her into its cage.
It almost looked like something from a movie, because the minute she bit me, I kind of screamed, and they just ran. Like, people just flooded out the doors.
She can have that job. Aquarium workers kept the hungry snake from pulling Allison into the cage until police arrived and zapped the python with a stun gun. Allison was not seriously hurt, and neither was the snake. She says she's done handling those snakes, but she doesn't mind her other job at the aquarium, climbing into a tank of sharks and feeding them.
Wow, that's a dangerous job on both.
It's not so bad getting up this early in the morning.
No, it's all of a sudden it's very nice, isn't it? 18 years old, couldn't have had a lot of training for snake handling.
14-foot python.
A little bit of a daredevil. Didn't Britney Spears didn't she hold a Burmese python?
Yeah, she just got rid of her snake. FedEx?
Yes, exactly. Oops, she did it again. Coming up, Britney's New Year's Eve drama in Sin City.
Plus, so you made a resolution to lose weight, but how do you stick to it? Helpful advice on having a healthy new year.
And the last crusade really wasn't the last. We'll see of Indiana Jones. Blockbuster news from the movie world. Next.
I'm Maurice DuBois. I anchor CBS 2 News this morning.
My name is Christine Johnson. I anchor the noon and 5 o'clock newscasts on CBS 2.
I'm Kate Sullivan. I anchor CBS 2 News this morning.
I'm Chris Raggi, and I anchor the noon and 5 o'clock newscasts here on CBS 2.
I'm Jim Rosenfield. Anchor CBS 2 News at 6 and 11.
I'm Dana Tyler. I anchor the 6 and 11 o'clock news at CBS 2.
Cable's Triple Play is the best deal in town. Digital cable TV, over 130 channels, and access to thousands of hours of on-demand programming. High-speed internet access, fast and reliable. And digital phone service, unlimited calling in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico. Get 3 great cable services for less than $100 a month for a year when you buy all 3 together. One low price, one bill, one simple connection. Don't miss our best deal ever. Call 1-800-OK-CABLE today.
Cardio.
Strength. Stretch. Find a
class now. Jazzercise.com.
Our family trusted that doctor, and now look what happened.
Maybe she'd still be here if they caught the cancer in time.
Why didn't the doctor order any tests for cancer?
Sometimes in cases of cervical, prostate, or even breast cancer, doctors fail to identify warning signs and don't order the right tests in time. If you think this could have happened to you or someone you love, call us now.
Silverstein, Awad, and Miklos, 1-877-ASK-FOR-SAM.
You know what I don't understand? What? Tipping. I mean, 18%, it's outrageous. Why do I have to pay someone else's employee for them?
Tell me about it. Look, someone gives me good service, I leave 10% tops.
And how about birthday gifts? Oh. If someone is over 12, they're not getting one from me.
Me neither.
Doormen? Stiff them.
Our most popular paper products at new low prices every day. So you can pay less at the place you've always liked to shop. Stop and Shop.
They're still digging out this morning in Colorado after another winter storm dumped about 10 feet of snow in the Denver area. Right now, officials are preparing to truck in groceries to restock empty store shelves. They're also trying to figure out how to get hay to the cattle in the area. Remember, there's 10 feet of snow on top of the grazing area. Civil Air Patrol pilots say they are willing to drop hay bales down to several herds they've already spotted from the air. Look at that.
It's unbelievable, and you'd think the positive spin with it would be all of the ski resorts, but people can't even get to the ski resorts because of the roads.
And we haven't had a flake here. We're almost hitting a record.
Oh, absolutely. Look at Denver. Look at December. No snow in December. Yeah, our temperatures will continue to be above normal and no snow for us. Just a few flurries upstate New York and parts of western Pennsylvania for the higher elevations. But again, we are looking at warm temperatures around the area. Now, gusty winds today, so it's going to feel blustery. We're looking at the 40s for the most part. 49 in Queens. We've got 49 in Princeton as well. We've got mid to upper 40s for Long Island. If you're getting out of town, one weather story, a little exiting moisture for parts of New England. Also some more showers for parts of central Florida. Could see some heavy rain later today. And then another big weather story is going to be some wet and unstable and at times very gusty winds for parts of the Pacific Northwest. In parts of Southern California, dry Santa Ana winds elevating the fire risk there. 73 in Los Angeles. We've got the cool wet 50s for Portland. Mild conditions for the northern plains. Why? Should be in the 20s, and we're looking at 41 in Minneapolis. The good news for the plains to the south, though, they are getting a chance to dry out and shovel out. If you really want the warm air, you have to head down to Tampa, 73. Any 70s for us? No, but we've got some nice temperatures for you. We'll have the 5-day forecast coming up in just a bit.
It just doesn't feel like winter.
No, it doesn't. Well, we can't complain.
Very few complaints.
Yeah, we can't complain.
This is true.
Thank you, John. Well, Britney Spears says she was partied out and tired, not drunk, when she passed out at a New Year's Eve party. The pop princess counted down to 2007 at Pure, the nightclub at Caesars in Las Vegas. But less than an hour into the new year, her manager says she fell asleep in the VIP lounge of the Pure nightclub. Earlier reports claim she had been drinking too much, collapsed, and had to be carried out by security. But a spokesman for Spears says she walked out of the club and did not seek medical attention.
Unusual for her to be involved in controversy. Yeah. There is a confirmation this morning that another future Indiana Jones movie is in the works. Director Steven Spielberg says he's on board to direct Harrison Ford in a fourth installment of the popular adventure series. Producer George Lucas tipped off the media to the plans for a new film as he was preparing to be Grand Marshal of the Rose Bowl parade. So far, all we know about the untitled project is that production begins in June and it's scheduled to hit theaters in May of 2008. The first three movies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and of course, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, have grossed more than $1 billion worldwide. We'll look forward to that one.
Absolutely. Just the music takes me back, doesn't it?
Gets you excited.
Yeah. Time now, 5:27. He led the nation through some tough times. Now the nation is saying thank you.
Take a live look now inside the Capitol Rotunda at the flag-draped casket of Gerald Ford today. The casket will be moved so Washington and the world can say goodbye. We have complete coverage next.
Next, E.T. Demi Moore in bed, in the buff, and spilling marriage secrets to Vanity Fair. Then we're with Oprah in Africa, our Dreamgirls exclusive, and Victoria's Secret swimsuits. Next, E.T.
Tonight at 7:30 on CBS2.
I'm Byron Holton. I've been a smoker since I was 16 years old. I have cancer, and I
hated this much. The thought of dying from smoking is terrifying. That moment that life meets death scares the hell out of me. I quit 10 years earlier. I probably wouldn't have this problem.
What's your reason for calling Empire today for your new carpet? Shop at home convenience? We'll bring brand name samples to your home so you can choose the color and texture that's just right for you. Immediate installation? Empire will install your new carpet next day. On a budget? Save with warehouse direct prices plus no payments till April 2008. Shop at home, next day installation, and no payments till April 2008. All great reasons to call Empire today. Call now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
CBS 2 News, WCBS News Radio 880, working together 24/7. More reporters on the street, more local coverage. New York's biggest source for news. Every 12 seconds, someone in America buys a new Chevrolet. Like the 2007 Cobalt LS that can get 34 miles per gallon highway and now comes with something Honda and Toyota don't. The best coverage in America, including the GM 100,000-mile warranty. Learn more. Go to Yahoo and click Autos. See for yourself. Shop and compare at ChevyOffers.com.
My husband, Byron Holton, has a smoking-related cancer. One thing Byron told me, he thinks the boys are going to miss most are going over to games. Byron's going to miss his newest granddaughter. She'll never know him. And I'm going to miss just wrapping my arms around him and saying it's okay. You can't imagine what it's going to be like when I'm on this.
Chris Raggi and Christine Johnson, weekdays on CBS 2 at noon and 5.
Time now, 5:30 on this Tuesday morning. Gerald Ford's final farewell, a live look at the former president's casket on this National Day of Mourning.
They're angry over 50 shots. They're taking 50 days to make their point, the nonstop protest at a Queens police station.
And a happy and healthy new year. Tips to following through on that resolution to shed a few pounds.
Good morning, I'm Brendan Keefe.
And I'm Kate Sullivan. Maurice has the day off. It is Tuesday, January 2nd. Doesn't feel like it. John Elliott with your exclusive forecast from CBS 2 and the Weather Channel. Hi, John.
Hey, good morning, Kate. Hi, everybody. And you make a good point. The temperatures outside right now, 5 to 7 degrees above where we would anticipate to see normal highs for January 2nd this time of the year. Nice transition day from the wet and clouds of yesterday to the sun over the next few days. Right now, 45 Central Park. We've got the 40s for New Jersey, also mid-40s for Long Island and upstate New York, even a 45 in Bridgeport. Here's what you can anticipate for this back to work, back to school day. Breezy conditions and 44 as you hit the streets this morning. Afternoon highs about 10 degrees above normal. Nice mix of sun and clouds. And then you'll see just a glorious sky tonight. And overnight lows again above normal. And that trend will continue. We have more weather as we continue in a bit. But right now, right back to Brendan and Kate.
Thank you, John. See you in a bit.
And the road's not looking too bad this morning. Liz Burke has your Metro traffic report. Good morning.
Good morning, Brendan and Kate. Good morning, everyone. And if you have to head back to work, you do want a good ride, right? Well, that's what we have so far on this Tuesday morning. A live look at the Gowanus Expressway and no problems as you head along the stretch in either direction, inbound or outbound. We're looking good. Also between the Prospect and Hamilton Avenue. Over to the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway, approaching the Brooklyn Bridge. Not a problem here. Northbound, no problems between Atlantic Avenue and the bridge. So you're good to go through that stretch. Over to the FDR, taking it to the east side. Camera shaking a bit. We do have some gusty winds this morning in areas, but we're looking good up and down the drive, and so far so good if you take the West Side Highway. Hopping on the train, mass transit. All lines running on or close to schedule so far, and alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect today. Brendan and Kate, over to you.
Liz, thank you very much. The funeral for America's 38th president will be held today at Washington's National Cathedral. Gerald Ford died last Tuesday at the age of 93, and the country has been paying tribute ever since. Take a live look at Ford's casket. Still sits inside the Capitol Rotunda, where 3 days of public viewing came to a close yesterday. Ford's widow, Betty, and the couple's children spent several somber minutes at the flag-draped casket late yesterday afternoon. Also paying their respects, former Mayor Rudy Giuliani and his wife, Judith. Giuliani said he was struck by President Ford's honesty and sense of leadership when he worked in Ford's Justice Department. CBS 2's Chris Raggi has more on today's funeral.
my kids, it's a legacy being made here. You know, they get to see this and they get to look back and say, I saw history being made. I was there.
The nation prepares this morning to say a final farewell to former President Gerald Ford. This amid last-minute preparations and incredibly intense security. Yesterday, thousands lined up, young and old, to file past the flag-draped coffin at the Capitol Rotunda. President Bush and the First Lady paid their respects after returning from their Texas ranch. He's expected to give a eulogy at today's service. Today's funeral is one which former President Gerald Ford helped arrange and plan with his advisors.
This funeral is being planned just as Jerry Ford anticipated it and planned it himself, which is keep things low-keyed.
Motorcades are frequent and the heavy police presence is apparent as the world's leaders gather for the funeral. CBS News' Harry Smith spent some time at the Capitol to pay his respects.
This is about paying respects to a more common man who, you know, I think a lot of people feel really did work for the common good.
Folks from our area say they had to be here, to be a part of history.
We thought it was a great opportunity to introduce the children to how special it is for a life of service, public service, and the way that the nation pays its respect to a former president like Gerald Ford.
It's just nice to really experience the history of, you know, a president going into the rotunda and paying your respects.
I think it's very interesting, the whole history and presidents and things like that.
After the funeral, the body of the former president will be taken to his hometown of Grand Rapids for another funeral service on Wednesday. His final resting place will be on the grounds of his presidential museum.
That was Chris Raggi reporting from Washington, delivering eulogies at today's funeral for President Ford, President George W. Bush, Henry Kissinger, and Tom Brokaw. That funeral service gets underway at 10:30 at the National Cathedral in Northwest Washington. Then the body will be flown to Grand Rapids, Michigan, where it will lie in repose at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum starting at 2:15. At 1 p.m. tomorrow, there will be a private service in Grand Rapids. And finally, the burial service will be held at 3 p.m. at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum in Michigan. CBS News will bring today's funeral service to you live. Katie Couric will anchor special coverage from Washington beginning at 10 a.m.
This morning, Valerie Bell is keeping constant vigil outside a Queens precinct house. The mother of Sean Bell says she is protesting the lack of indictments in her son's death. CBS 2's Pablo Guzman is live in Jamaica with the details. Good morning, Pablo.
Good morning. Sean Bell's mother, Valerie, arrived towards the end of our last report. We are diagonally opposite the 103rd precinct in Jamaica. She says she will be here for 50 days. According to the New York Sun newspaper, Valerie Bell and about 40 supporters began a quiet vigil early yesterday morning outside the 103rd precinct in Queens. This, she told the paper, to try and get justice for her son, Sean Bell, whom the world now identifies as the man killed when police fired 50 shots at him and his friends inside a car.
We call on for this 50-day vigil for 24 hours, and it's going to go forth because it's in Jesus' name. And in my heart, ever since it happened, I just knew it was nothing but God that's just keeping me up for this to go forth.
Meanwhile, the New York Times reported Sunday that Paul Headley, an officer who fired once at the car, was questioned last Wednesday by investigators for the Queens DA. He answered questions for about 2 hours without getting immunity or any promise of favors down the road, according to the paper. A lawyer for the undercover detective who fired first has said his client will also be interviewed without an offer of immunity and is willing to go before the grand jury. As a mother, your pain is unlike most other people's, but, you know, 50 days. It's cold now. It's going to get colder. It might rain. It might snow.
We're going to be out here. We're going to be out here. We know how to keep warm. We have to go to work every day, go through the rain, the snow, the storm. We're going to be out here.
I asked her if she was doing this because some group urged her to do it. This really seems to be spontaneous on her part. She says if other mothers are so moved, then they can join her, but she's not calling for any groups to come out and do anything along those lines. And whoever comes out, she says she would like them to be peaceful. CBS 2 News has learned that the grand jury should be starting its work this week. From Jamaica, Queens, Pablo Guzman, CBS 2 News.
All right, thank you, Pablo. Members of Bell's family are asking Governor Spitzer to appoint a special prosecutor in this case. Right now, the shooting remains under investigation by Queens DA Richard Brown.
A family tragedy involving one of New York's finest. He and his 2 young daughters were killed in a horrific crash. It happened yesterday morning on I-78 in Bedminster. 39-year-old housing police officer Louis Pierre and his daughters, 9-year-old Ashley and 4-year-old Arabella Cassidy, were all killed when their SUV went off the road into a wooded area. Pierre's mother and sisters say he died just after celebrating the New Year with them.
Oh, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. I don't know how I'm going to live without him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he's like the head of the family.
At the time of the crash, Officer Pierre was driving to Philadelphia to visit his oldest daughter. New Jersey state troopers aren't sure about what caused the crash. They're asking anyone who may have witnessed Officer Pierre's accident to call the Somerville Barracks at 908-725-0107.
Other stories now to update you on at 5:39. A man police call a person of interest in the Middletown murder is picked up in the Bronx. Acting on a tip, cops moved in on an apartment in the Bronx River neighborhood last night, but not without trouble. A detective was attacked by a dog, which was shot and killed. The person of interest is now in Middletown, where he is being questioned about the New Year's Eve murder of salon owner Fermina Nunez. He is just beginning his second day as New York's governor, but Elliot has already signed 5 executive orders, some dealing with ethical guidelines for state workers. At the public swearing-in ceremony yesterday, Spitzer said New York has, quote, slept through most of the past decade, unquote. And if you're sick of subway delays, blame sick strap hangers. That is the word from the MTA, which says nearly 400 delays a month are caused by queasy commuters. Many, according to transit officials, are women fainting because of low-calorie diets.
I checked the facts, by the way. According to the MTA, you can bring food on board, but you can't have an open container of any liquid.
You can bring food on board, but can you then eat it?
You can't, right. Well, that's the big question, I guess.
Because you can transport food, is what you're saying.
Right.
But you can't ingest the food.
Can I transport it in my stomach, officer?
I don't know. There's got to be a scan for that.
You can actually get a ticket for having an open container.
Well, you know, and there's because people concerned about slippage and falling. You know, and with yesterday's wet rain at the subway stations, always worried about that. But today with the wind just blowing out everything, I mean, it's going to dry everything out, so you should see some nice dry pavement. Well, let's go get a snack and then get you on that subway station. So, you know, you're not going to faint. We don't want anybody fainting. We want everybody arriving safe and with a nice full tummy, because we've got some nice weather for you to enjoy over the next few days. Yesterday's rain giving way to kind of a transitional day today. Clear skies right now, Central Park, 45 degrees, but the winds, a factor, winds out of the west, 15 but gusting to 22. And that's being played out all around the area. We are going to see winds for a good part of the day, winds decreasing for your Tuesday night. That guy didn't even know he was on TV. He walked right, had no idea. Now we have to write him a check. Normal high 39. We're going to be 10 degrees above that today and even warmer over the next few days. Normal low 27, not in the 20s. Some areas well to the west and north of the city may see some 20s tonight. But again, everywhere you go, temperatures above normal. Sunrise at 7:20 and the sun sets at 4:40. Your sunrise hour, typically the coolest hour of the day, so we'll dip a little bit before we start to climb. Cool and windy start to the week. Wednesday into Thursday, though, mild temperatures return in a big way, mid-50s, and no big cool down in sight, and no temperatures returning to normal highs over the next few days. We've got the mid-40s, I should say, for Long Island, and 50s over the next few days, so for afternoon highs. 45, as we mentioned, in Central Park. We've got 44 in Somerville. We've got 43 Asbury Park. Anywhere you go, temperatures above normal this time of the day, and then throughout the course of the day and over the next few days. A little bit of rotation here, a little area, low pressure exiting the area, tapping into some cold air, depositing a little bit of snow, parts of New Hampshire, central New York, and even western Pennsylvania. But we are going to see a transitional day with some nice sun, and over the next few days, we are going to see some warm conditions. Your exclusive 5-day forecast from CBS 2 and the Weather Channel, looking at 49 for a high today, but then we add 5 degrees to that for your Wednesday and Thursday. It looks like right now Thursday is going to be the warmest day of the week. We're going to put a chance of rain in the forecast for your Friday, about a 50% chance of rain. I do want to add, though, we aren't anticipating that kind of heavy rain that we saw yesterday, so Friday just kind of a little bit of a hiccup. Saturday, though, into Sunday, Temperatures staying above normal in the mid-50s, and for the weekend into the first part of next week, we're staying well above normal as well, with a nice mix of sun and clouds.
Almost 60 on Saturday.
Where are my shorts?
Say it ain't so. All
Welcome
right.
to the morning team.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you here.
Hey, I'd kiss you if I could.
Would you really?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, that's
Great
coming
to
up.
have
Stay
you.
with us.
Great to have you. Thanks so much, John. Time now, 5:42. Bad bosses. Coming up, what a new study says about the people in charge.
Not ours, though. We love them. Also, new year, new you, but keeping that resolution to get in shape isn't easy. Up next, 4 tips to stay with it for more than just a few days.
What was your car doing in the shop?
I blew the engine, racing it.
Why is that funny?
That's not funny.
It's a case of who gets the last laugh.
I guess it was a dumb idea.
Dumb ideas come from people who have dumb brains.
Judge TV, today at 4, only on CBS 2.
Now I'm going to show you the advantages of Optimum Triple Play. For just $29.95 a month, IO gives you more than 170 channels with your sports, soap operas, and the best movies. Plus, with On Demand, you can fast forward, rewind, and pause. Satellite can do that. If you like speed, Optimum Online is 5 times faster than DSL. Download music, explore, and learn. There's nothing better for just $29.95 a month. Add more gas! And with Optimum Voice, make unlimited calls to the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Just $29.95 a month. Ask about our international calling plan. Optimum Triple Play. Get each one for just $29.95 a month for a year when you get all 3 together. You save over $500. Call 1-877-415-3325. Big savings!
In a world of countless little choices, among mountains of megapixels and a gaggle of gigabytes, shouldn't you spend less time sifting through the nonsense and go straight to the happy ending?
In this city, when it comes to exposing corruption, crime, and scandals, no one looks out for you like the CBS 2 investigative team. Scott Weinberger, Kirsten Cole, T.Y. Chang, the CBS 2 Investigation Unit.
Look at them go. About 200 people joined the 80 members of the Polar Bear Club of Coney Island for their annual New Year's dip in the, look at them, oh my goodness, in the frigid Atlantic Ocean, living it up. The weather was unusually mild for New Year's Day, but the water was a chilly 47 degrees. That seems pretty mild, doesn't it? One man who was not a member of the club was taken to the hospital after he dove into shallow water and hurt himself. The event raised $25,000 for a retreat for sick children.
It was a lot easier this year than in years past, where it's
Absolutely,
like 5 degrees.
Yes.
Yeah,
I admire those people.
Do you notice how they run out faster than they run in?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Get me the towel, quickly.
Yeah, and speaking of rushing, this morning's rush is Liz Burke is keeping an eye on that for us this morning. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Brendan. It did look fun out there. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. And we're starting out with a pretty good ride overall. We just found out, though, about a problem on the inbound Pulaski Skyway. There is an accident after the Kearney exit ramp. The right lane is blocked, so we'll keep you posted there. Let's go outside and show you a live look at the Long Island Expressway. And this is your approach to the Queens Midtown Tunnel. Looking good heading into town. No problems inbound or outbound. And same story for the 59th Street Bridge. Over to the Van Wyck through the Kew Gardens interchange. We had an accident, long gone now. No problems on the Van Wyck as you head northbound or southbound. Taking it over to the Garden State, New Jersey Turnpike by Newark Airport, a good ride here. Though if you're traveling through the Franklin Township area, the Greekstown Causeway is still closed because of flooding between Franklin and Montgomery, and also the Blackwells Mills Causeway shut down between Hillsborough and Franklin Township, all because of flooding. 495 by Kennedy Boulevard en route to the inbound Lincoln Tunnel. We're looking at a decent ride in both directions. So far, so good. Over to the Verrazano Bridge. Overnight construction now out of the way. Lower level is reopened in both directions. If you do take the train, checking out Metro North and J Transit, the PATH, Long Island Railroad, they're all running on or close to schedule so far. And alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect today citywide. Brendan and Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot. Well, the roads are in good shape, but are you? In this morning's Health Watch, tips for getting in shape for the new year. If your New Year's resolutions include losing weight and getting getting on an exercise program, we have some helpful hints from Dr. Sean Keefe that can help you increase your odds of success.
Every year, the high-ranking resolutions are losing weight and getting in shape. So whether you plan to change your diet, hit the gym, or both, we have 4 secrets to success. Call them the 4 B's. And the first is, be realistic. Nutritionist Shia Rarbach says that means setting goals you can attain.
Everyone's feeling so guilty on January 1st that they try to do a major overhaul of their whole diet, when maybe they should just pick 1 or 2 parts of their diet that they can change.
Next, be specific. Fitness instructor Liz Caravia says that means having an exercise plan and consistently raising the bar.
Keep a journal. That's what my clients do, and I find that it's very, very attainable when you keep a journal.
And remember, this isn't just a temporary fix. To stay slim and healthy, you can't just make changes for a while. It has to be forever. So our third B is be consistent.
These are not goals for New Year's or for January. These are goals to make you healthier.
And if you slip up, don't get down about it. It only means you're human. That's why it's important to be forgiving.
If you slip up, don't give up.
There are going to be slip-ups, and it's okay, because look at the big picture, and the big picture is better health throughout the year.
New Year's resolutions usually don't last very long. Most people give up. But hopefully, if you follow the 4 B's, you'll be on the road to success. Dr. Sean Keefe, CBS News.
Doctors recommend exercise, such as brisk walking, at least 30 minutes a day, several days a week, as a good place to start your weight loss program. Coming up on 11 minutes before 6, we'll be right back.
WCBS-TV.com, the fastest growing New York TV news website with the latest news, weather, and traffic right on our homepage. Plus slideshows featuring celebrity, lifestyle, and news photos. We're always on at WCBS-TV.com. Make us your homepage. Bring in the new year with a spectacular celebration. Come to the New York Times 6th Annual Arts and Leisure Weekend, January 5th, 6th, and 7th in New York City, featuring some of the most influential names in music and dance, art and theater, film and television. An extraordinary lineup of talent in conversation with New York Times journalists. For more information and to buy tickets to Arts and Leisure Weekend, log on to WCBS-TV.com or call 888-NYT-1870.
Have you guys seen my easy button?
You can use mine.
Use your easy button to find my easy button?
Won't that, like, tear a hole in the universe?
What's the worst that could happen?
That's the worst that could happen.
Just hit it.
Okay.
See, there it is.
Where's Steve?
Want to get organized this year? Head to Staples and stock up on these office essentials for just 99 cents each. Staples, that was easy.
If you've dreamed of a warm and wonderful new fur, now is the time to buy it, because Flemington Fur is having a January clearance like you've never seen before. You'll find real savings of up to 60% and more off our everyday low prices. Choose a fabulous fur or other fine luxury fashion from the largest selection available anywhere and buy it now at an unbelievable January clearance price. Only at the Flemington Fur Company in Flemington, New Jersey.
Wacky resolution.
Can Dr. Phil help a 22-year-old afraid to be without her blankie?
You hold your blanket and suck your thumb.
All new Dr. Phil.
People don't want to see that. Today at 3, only on CBS 2.
Morning, everybody. Welcome back. As many of you heading back to work and school, we've got weather that is going to cooperate, get you out of town. If you have to leave in the area, we're looking at temperatures above normal by 5 to 10 degrees. Nice mix of sun and clouds. I think you'll see more sun than clouds. The big story around the country, our exiting storm and another one coming on board. If you're heading to the Pacific Northwest, just no break there. Gusty winds in the southwest. Mild conditions for the central states, which is good news for them. We're looking at temperatures in the northern plains above normal in the low 40s. We've got 54, though, for Memphis, 71. Central Florida could see some showers, but nice temperatures. 50s for the mid-Atlantic states. 60 in Las Vegas. Very windy, though, if you're heading to Las Vegas. Las Vegas down into Los Angeles. Dry Santa Ana winds continue to howl, and they're just howling for some relief in parts of the Pacific Northwest where we are going to see more rain and snow for the higher elevations.
John Elliott, thank you very much.
And there's also big news this morning in sports in both professional and college football.
Yes,
we've got all four. The producer just got in my ear. He wants me to read the sportscast like I'm double parked. So I gotta keep it moving. The Jets are 8.5-point underdogs to the Patriots for Sunday's playoff game. But then again, the Jets have been underdogs all season long, and look where they are now. The two teams split their 2 meetings this year. The Patriots won in week 2. The Jets turned the tables 8 weeks later in Foxborough. Coach Mangini spent 6 years with the Pats. He knows his former team well.
We've been a long history of playing each other, but not a long history of playing each other in the playoffs. And whenever you get to play a division opponent for a third time, it's exciting.
Yeah, every week it gets bigger and bigger. First playoff game against the Patriots, they won Super Bowl, throughout the last 4 years. Just fortunate enough to be in this situation.
It's a playoff game, man. If you don't win, you're done. So we're going to go up there and we're just going to try to give it our all.
The Giants are in the postseason as well. Not quite sure if it's well-deserved. This team went 2-6 over the second half of the season. The Giants visit Philly Sunday afternoon. The two division rivals meet again. It will be the third meeting this season. They split the first two. In Game 1, Eli Manning led a fourth-quarter comeback that resulted in an overtime win. In Game 2, Eli Manning was awful. A pair of interceptions, including this one, that was returned for a touchdown by Trent Cole. The NFL unemployment line just got a bit longer. The Falcons have fired head coach Jim Moore Jr. Good starts the past 2 seasons ended with collapses. And Dennis Green will take his post-game tirades elsewhere. The Cardinals have fired him following a 5-11 season. Some New Year's Day Bowl results. West Virginia beats Georgia Tech in the Gator Bowl. Penn State tops Tennessee in the Outback Bowl. Fiesta Bowl, Oklahoma and Boise State. Boise State down 7 with 15 seconds to play. The hook and ladder play. No way. Gerard Arabs takes it the rest of the way. Game tied. We're going overtime. In OT, Boise State down 7 again. Vinny Peretta catches this TD pass. Now get this. Boise State goes for the 2 and the win. The old Statue of Liberty play. You kidding me? Ian Johnson strolls in. Boise State wins 43-42 to finish the season at 13-0. And look at this. Johnson, who scored that winning conversion, proposes to his girlfriend. At least I hope that's his girlfriend. She said yes. All right, that's good to see.
That is.
All right, Rose Bowl, USC and Michigan. New Jersey native Brian Cushing, 2.5 sacks and a forced fumble.
Jumping in over the top.
USC's Dwayne Jarrett. He's a man among boys. 11 catches, 204 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The kids on the street, they call that being sick. That's what I'm told. USC cruises 32-18. The Knicks' West Coast road trip continues tonight. They visit Sacramento. On the ice, Isles and Sabres from last night. The Sabres, best team in the East. Here's why. Maxim Affinageta beats Rick DiPietro. The Isles fall 3-1. And finally, whether you like him or not, Bobby Knight is now the all-time leader in wins in men's Division I basketball. Knight earned victory number 880 last night as his Texas Tech Raiders defeated New Mexico 70-68. Knight passes the legendary Dean Smith, 880 victories. That is a record that may never be broken. Think about it, 880.
Yeah.
You'd have to average 20 wins for 44 years.
Absolutely.
He is effective, isn't he?
Definitely
He's effective.
And
That's
he's still
one
yelled
word.
at the players afterwards. Thanks, Ducis.
Ducis, thank you. Let's take a look at your business news now. And for that, we head over to Susan McGinnis with your CBS Money Watch. Hi, Susan.
Hey, good morning, Kate and Brendan. Good morning, everyone. Stock market is closed today for a national day of mourning to honor President Ford, so we will wait one more day to see how Wall Street starts out the new year. A lot of optimism, though, after the best year for stocks since 2003. The rally that started last summer took the Dow up nearly 1,750 points. It was up 16%. NASDAQ was up 9.5% last year. The S&P up about 14%. We did have crude oil prices finishing 1 penny higher than they ended in 2005. Gas prices 14 cents higher per gallon than they ended in 2005. The average was $2.34 a gallon. And a new Wall Street Journal survey is very optimistic, finding the economy poised to shake off the housing slump and regain its momentum by the end of 2007. Well, New Yorkers, Philadelphians, and others will enjoy their macchiatos, frappuccinos, and apple fritters with no worries about clogging arteries. Starbucks is getting rid of trans fat starting tomorrow. It's coming ahead of New York's big ban that's coming up in July. It's also eliminating trans fats in San Francisco, L.A., Chicago, and Boston. And if you're a boss, maybe treating workers better would be a good New Year's resolution. There's a new study that finds nearly 2 in 5 bosses don't keep their word to workers. More than a quarter badmouth their underlings to others, and 23% blame others to try to cover up their own mistakes. And the results have been bad morale and lower productivity. That's a quick check of what's happening in business. Back to you guys.
Susan, thank you very much. That National Day of Mourning that Susan mentioned, of course, for the funeral of President Gerald Ford today.
Take a live look now inside the Capitol Rotunda. The public viewing period is over, and now the president's flag-draped casket awaits a trip to the National Cathedral. We're live in Washington at the top of the hour.
Catch tonight's CBS HD primetime lineup on IO Digital Cable Service. When it comes to the best HD experience, it's optimum or it's not.
Right now, over half our suits and sport coats are on sale, plus hundreds of pants, sweaters, shoes, shirts, and outerwear, 20 to 50% off. Now that's a sale. I guarantee it.
The Men's Warehouse Winter Sale.
Every time you smoke, cigarettes are eating you alive. Smoking eats away at nearly every vital organ and tissue of the body. Cigarettes are eating you alive. Quit smoking today. Call 311 or 1-866-NY-QUITS.
So, I'm on that roasted chicken Italiano diet.
I just started the turkey noodle diet. Beef and mushroom diet. You've got to try it.
You won't believe what you can eat while still watching your calories. Because 25 of your favorite Progresso soups are 100 calories or less per serving.
Chicken noodle. And it shows.
Wow, here's something new. A reduced sodium soup that's delicious. It's what you'd expect from Progresso. 50% reduced sodium, 100% great taste.
CBS 2 News, WCBS News Radio 880, working together 24/7. More reporters on the street, more local coverage. New York's biggest source for news.
Hey guys, remember me? Pella double hung windows.
Hey!
Great work.
Hey, thanks. Hey! Hey, how are you guys? Good.
Thanks, window guy.
Oh, thank you.
At Lowe's, our professional installers do the kind of job you'll appreciate long after they leave your home.
Thank you. My wife loves the storm doors.
Over 40 categories and growing. Lowe's, let's build something together.
Staying way ahead of the bad guys, Kirsten Cole's Scam Alert, only on CBS 2 News. Closed captioning on CBS 2 is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Right now, at just shy of 6 o'clock, personal tributes from those who followed in his footsteps and those who knew him best. Today, President Ford will leave Washington for the last time.
More than a month after the Sean Bell shooting, a quiet vigil today led by his own mother.
He had a little garden that he called that he would water.
Plus, why a U.S. military nurse says in some ways Saddam Hussein was a big softie. That story's ahead. Good morning and welcome in. I'm Kate Sullivan.
And I'm Brendan Keefe, in for Maurice DuBois. First, we want to welcome the newest member of our morning team, John Elliott. He's getting us started with your exclusive forecast from CBS 2 and the Weather Channel. Hey, John.
Hey, appreciate that, Brendan. Good morning to you. Good morning, Kate. Hi, everybody. We have got some more great weather headed your way today and over the next few days. Windy conditions peaking middle part of the day. Some gusty winds at times, but temperatures staying above normal. Temperatures outside right now, 45 under clear skies in Central Park. Few lingering clouds to the north, and the only 30-degree reading is at 36 in Monticello, but everywhere else we are seeing temperatures above normal. This afternoon should be 39 for a high, but we're looking at 49 with some glorious sun. Clear and cool tonight. Do watch out for those gusty winds peaking mid-morning to mid-afternoon and then decreasing overnight. More weather in a bit. Right now, though, right back to Brendan and Kate.
Thanks a lot, John.
It is get back to work time, and Liz Burke is in the Metro Traffic Center taking a look at your traffic this morning. Hi, Liz.
Hi there, Kate and Brendan, and it's great that the rain is out of the way because that is definitely helping us on the roadways this morning. We do have one problem going on in northern New Jersey, inbound Pulaski Skyway, an accident working after the Kearney exit ramp, and the right lane is blocked there. If you use 440, you're doing okay in both directions, and a smooth ride on 139. We'll take it outside and show you the George Washington Bridge. A good look here, upper and lower levels, inbound and outbound, no problems at all. You're looking good on the Cross Bronx and also at the tolls, and all of your Hudson River crossings are in excellent shape. In fact, your East River crossings, also a good ride there. Mass transit, that's running on or close to schedule, and alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect today citywide. Brendan and Kate, back to you.
Liz, thank you very much. A final farewell will be held in Washington this morning for Gerald R. Ford, the 38th President of the United States. He died last week at the age of 93. After the casket lies for a short time outside the Senate door, the motorcade will leave the Capitol building, pass by the White House, and arrive at the National Cathedral for the state funeral. CBS 2's Chris Raggi joins us live from D.C. with the story. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Kate. How are you? Today, a national day of mourning for the services of the 38th President of the United States, Gerald Ford. Ford's body still lying in repose in the Capitol Rotunda. At 10 a.m., Ford's body will be moved to the doors of the Senate for a brief moment and a brief ceremony, then on to the National Cathedral for the 10:30 a.m. funeral services. Yesterday and last night, a steady stream of citizens and dignitaries paying their respects to the man that woke the nation from a long national nightmare, Gerald Ford.
My kids, it's a legacy being made here. You know, they get to see this and they get to look back and say, I saw history being made. I was there.
Today is a day of mourning, last-minute preparations, and intense security for a funeral that many are calling simple and humble. Thousands lined up, young and old, to file past the flag-draped coffin at the Capitol Rotunda, where the Ford children have actually been greeting visitors. President Bush and the First Lady paid their respects after returning from their Texas ranch. Today's funeral is one which former President Gerald Ford helped arrange and plan with his advisors. There's no fighter jet flyover in the skies above the Capitol, and there's no horse-drawn caisson. And at times, the sounds of the University of Michigan fight song are heard instead of Hail to the Chief. But make no mistake, the eyes of the nation are on Washington, and the world's leaders are here to say goodbye to the 38th president. CBS News' Harry Smith was online paying respects as well.
This is about paying respects to a more common man who, you know, I think a lot of people feel really did work for the common good.
Folks from the New York area have braved the rain and the unbelievable police presence to be a part of this 6-day ceremony honoring the former president.
We thought it was a great opportunity to introduce the children to how special it is for a life of service, public service, and the way that the nation pays its respect to a former president like Gerald Ford.
It's just nice to really experience the history of, you know, a president going into the rotunda and paying your respects.
I think it's very interesting, the whole history and presidents and things like that.
The funeral service is later this morning at the Washington National Cathedral, where President Bush will deliver the eulogy. Then the body of the former president will be taken to his hometown of Grand Rapids for another funeral service on Wednesday. President Ford's final resting place will be on the grounds of the Presidential Museum that bears his name. At today's service, President Bush will eulogize President Ford along with President Bush Sr., Tom Brokaw, and Henry Kissinger. Immediately following the funeral service today, Ford's body will make its way to Andrews Air Force Base en route to his final resting place in Grand Rapids, Michigan, his hometown. Live in Washington, D.C., I'm Chris Raggi. CBS News this morning. It's a little early, guys. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Again, here is the schedule of events as the nation says goodbye to President Ford. At 10:30 this morning, a funeral service at the National Cathedral, as Chris was telling us. His body will then leave Washington. At 2:15 this afternoon, he will lie in repose at his Presidential Museum in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., there will be a private service there in Grand Rapids. And at 3 tomorrow afternoon, President Ford will be buried at the Presidential Museum.
And be sure to stay with CBS 2 and WCBS-TV.com as events unfold today. Also, CBS News will have live reports from Washington, D.C. beginning at 10 a.m. anchored by Katie Couric.
In other news this morning, Indonesia's aviation chief says he cannot confirm that 12 people survived a deadly plane crash. Grieving relatives waited for word on their loved ones after a commercial plane slammed into mountains in bad weather. Rescuers have reached the smoldering wreckage. At least 90 people there have died.
This morning, a parent's pain at the center of a new vigil outside a police precinct in Queens. Valerie Bell says she is protesting the lack of indictments in the November police shooting of her son Sean Bell and his 2 friends. CBS 2's Pablo Guzman is live in Jamaica with the details. Pablo.
Valerie Bell, well, today is the second day of her vigil. She started yesterday and frankly caught most of us in the media by surprise. There was no announcement. This was not part of anyone's agenda other than her own. Obviously, it comes from her heart, and she says she will be here for 50 days. According to the New York Sun newspaper, Valerie Bell and about 40 supporters began a quiet vigil early yesterday morning outside the 103rd Precinct in Queens. This, she told the paper, to try and get justice for her son, Sean Bell, whom the world now identifies as the man killed when police fired 50 shots at him and his friends inside a car.
We call on for this 50-day vigil for 24 hours, and it's going to go forth because it's in Jesus' name. And in my heart, ever since it's happened, I just knew it was nothing but God that's just keeping me up for this to go forth.
Meanwhile, the New York Times reported Sunday that Paul Headley, an officer who fired once at the car, was questioned last Wednesday by investigators for the Queens DA. He answered questions for about 2 hours without getting immunity or any promise of favors down the road, according to the paper. A lawyer for the undercover detective who fired first has said his client will also be interviewed without an offer of immunity and is willing to go before the grand jury. As a mother, your pain is unlike most other people's, but, 50 days. It's cold now. It's going to get colder. It might rain. It might snow.
We're going to be out here. We're going to be out here. We know how to keep warm. We have to go to work every day, go through the rain, the snow, the storm. We're going to be out here.
CBS 2 News has learned that grand jury, in fact, should start its work sometime this week. Across from the 103rd Precinct in Jamaica, Queens, Pablo Guzman, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Pablo, thank you very much. Members of Sean Bell's family are asking Governor Spitzer to appoint a special prosecutor in this case. Right now, the shooting remains under investigation by Queens DA Richard Brown.
And this morning, Governor Elliot Spitzer is already making some big changes up in Albany. Governor Spitzer was greeted by former Governor Pataki yesterday when he arrived at his public swearing-in ceremony. But while things seemed warm on the surface, during his speech, the new governor took aim at his predecessor and the political climate in Albany.
New York has slept through much of the past decade while the rest of the world has passed us by. We must change the ethics of Albany and end the politics of cynicism and division in our state.
The man credited with cleaning up Wall Street as state attorney general has now banned his staff from accepting gifts from lobbyists. He has also barred them from using state cars or equipment for personal business. Governor Spitzer's next big task will be to choose a replacement for Alan Hevesy, the state comptroller who resigned in a scandal over his personal use of a state car and driver.
Time now 6:09. I want to welcome the newest member of our morning team, John Elliott, who hails from Michigan, most recently in Los Angeles, and now in New York. Welcome.
And I live in New Jersey.
Where on the mitt?
It's fantastic. It's right down there. Right there. Yeah. Oakland County. If you're keeping score, but no wagering. You know what? If you're wagering on better weather, yeah, we've got you covered. We are going to see temperatures continue to climb, stay above normal over the next few days. And, gee, what a difference from the beginning of the week. 3 times as much confetti this year, and then the rain. What a mess to clean up, but it is nice and clean, and Times Square is waiting for you. Maybe a visit, maybe business. Right now, though, 45. In New York, winds out of the west, 12 miles an hour, but gusting to 20. We are going to see some gusty winds throughout the course of the day today. In fact, lingering into your afternoon and then decreasing overnight. You see it there behind the graphic, the Viper. I want to show you the Viper and what's going on. Still a little bit of wraparound moisture, but watch what happens. Dry air, dry air, dry air, dry air. It's all just drying out. We need some snow. I know you want the snow, but it's just not happening. Dew points are going to continue to drop over the next few days, and that's going to pave the way for lots of sun, and with those warmer temperatures, it's going to feel good. Let's talk about some of those numbers from yesterday. Parts of New Jersey, well over an inch of rain, and they weren't alone. New York as well, 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. JFK, 1.17. Danbury, Connecticut, over an inch of rain. A lot of rain yesterday, but no more rain over the next few days, and temperatures will be above normal. Normal high at 39, going for 49 today. Normal low 27, no 20s for us. Sun's up at 7:20, sun sets at 4:40, and you'll see lots of the sun today. Cool and windy today, but mild temperatures for the middle part of the week. No big cool down in sight, and we've got nice temperatures outside right now for this time of the year. We've got the 40s in Bridgeport, 42 in Danbury, and as we pull out, 45 in Brooklyn. Temperatures above normal this time of the day and above normal this afternoon, and we are going to show you why. Normally this time of the year, boy, the jet stream can just drag that cold air in, and we've got those menacing lows off the coast, but now we're looking at, well, a mild start to the week. High pressure bubbling up that nice warm temperature from the south, and that's definitely what we're going to be seeing. From CBS 2 and the Weather Channel now, your exclusive abrasive 5-day forecast with a little bonus for you there. Chance of rain late Thursday into Friday and then drying out Saturday into Sunday. Temperatures above normal over the next 5+ days.
Wow.
Looking
There's
wonderful.
No end in sight to this.
None.
So, I mean, that Arctic jet eventually has to come down, doesn't it?
Well, apparently it's checked its luggage and it will come here, but not yet, not this week.
All right, thanks a lot.
We'll enjoy it while it lasts. Thank you, John.
Well, Liz Burke now has a check with your traffic out there, and it's not looking too bad today, Liz.
No, and you do have a bonus if you're on the Belt Parkway. We're looking at very light traffic so far on this Tuesday morning. The Belt Parkway is looking great as you pass by Kennedy Airport, so no reported problems so far. And if you use the Gowanus to get to work, we'll take a look at that live, and we're building a bit through the area of Industry City, but really not a problem. So that's good news for us. But we do have a problem in northern New Jersey. Inbound Pulaski Skyway, there is an accident after the Kearney exit ramp. The right lane is blocked, and we do see a long delay now. That delay goes back across the span. So we'll keep you posted on that one. 21 is moving well, New Jersey Turnpike. You're doing okay in both directions. Watch for some flooding in central New Jersey. That means the Griggstown Causeway is still closed between Franklin and Montgomery, and also the Blackwells Mills Causeway is closed between Hillsborough and Franklin Township. Your trains are running on or close to schedule, looking good as far as Metro North, NJ Transit, the PATH, LIRR, all running on or close to schedule, and alternate side of the street parking rules are in effect. Brendan and Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks, Liz.
Time now, 6:13. Let's get a quick check on the day's top stories in sports, and Jets and Giants getting ready for the playoffs.
Both of them getting ready at this hour. They better be, because both of them have difficult games. The improbable season continues. The Jets are in the playoffs, but game one is a tough one. Gang Green will be at New England Sunday at 1. Coach Eric Mangini, who spent 6 years with the Patriots, will be facing his former team and his former mentor, Bill Belichick. The Pats took the first meeting in week 2. The Jets finally figured them out 8 weeks later. Coach Mangini sounds focused.
Every game for us has been extremely significant, and we had to win those games to get to this point. It's a one-game season, and you need to win that game in order to move forward.
Every week it gets bigger and bigger. First playoff game against the Patriots, they won Super Bowl, 3 of the last 4 years. Just fortunate enough to be in this situation.
The Giants somehow are in the postseason as well, and they too will face a familiar foe, the Eagles. That game is Sunday at 4:30 in Philly. The two teams met twice this season. They split in game 1. Eli Manning led a furious fourth-quarter comeback that resulted in an overtime victory. In game 2, Eli Manning was a different Eli Manning. He was awful. A pair of interceptions, including this one, that was returned to the house by Trent Cole. The Giants are 6.5-point underdogs. As for the Jets, they are 8.5-point dogs. But one thing going in favor of both teams, the last 3 or 4 games of the season were all pressure cooker games. They're like playoff type games, so might be peaking, hopefully, at the right time.
Okay, we'll see. Thank you, Ducis. Appreciate it.
And still to come this morning, blaming subway delays not on the MTA, but the riders themselves. A new study provides a surprising link. We'll have that for you at 6:30.
But first, a football star gunned down in cold blood. This morning, what police have already confirmed, and something specific they are hoping to find.
And remembering a president. A live look now from Washington as President Gerald R. Ford lies in state in the Capitol Rotunda. The funeral now just a few hours away. We'll be right back.
Wacky resolution.
Can Dr. Phil help a 22-year-old afraid to be without her blankie?
You hold your blanket and suck your thumb.
All new Dr. Phil.
People don't want to see that.
Today at 3, only on CBS-2.
Need new flooring? Call the experts. At Home Carpets and Flooring at 888-369-RUGS for a free estimate. We'll come to you on your schedule, and if you call now, you'll get a free area rug with any purchase. That's 888-369-RUGS. At Home Carpets, we bring the store to your door.
See the new Jeep 4x4s before the year ends at the Jeep Premier event. The new 4-door Wrangler Unlimited just arrived alongside the all-new Jeep Compass. They join Grand Cherokee, part of the most award-winning brand of 4x4s ever. Jeep Commander with 3 rows of seating, and Liberty with the government's highest side crash test rating.
Well-qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can get a low-mileage lease on a 2007 Liberty Sport for $219 a month.
See Liberty and the rest of our growing lineup before the year is over.
Why shouldn't people live in their living rooms? Who says sofas are just for sitting?
Why can't pillows fight with each other?
Why can't a bookcase expand with your mind?
Why shouldn't sofas come in flavors?
Just like families.
Don't miss the IKEA winter sale and save 20 to 60% on select items throughout the store. Hurry in, sale ends Sunday.
You know what I don't understand? What? Tipping. I mean, 18%, it's outrageous. Why do I have to pay someone else's employee for that?
Tell me about it. Look, someone gives me good service, I leave 10% tops.
And how about birthday gifts? Oh. If someone is over 12, they're not getting one from me.
Me neither.
Doormen? Stiff them.
Our most popular paper products at new low prices every day. So you can pay less at the place you've always liked to shop. Stop and Shop.
What was your car doing in the shop?
I blew the engine, racing it.
Why is that funny?
That's not funny.
It's a case of who gets the last laugh.
I guess it was a dumb idea.
Dumb ideas come from people who have dumb brains.
Judge TV, today at 4, only on CBS 2.
Good morning and welcome back. Time now 6:17. This morning, police in Denver are searching for suspects and a motive in the drive-by killing of football player Darrent Williams. The Broncos quarterback's stretch limo was hit by gunfire after a New Year's Eve party at a local nightclub. Jennifer Miller has the story.
Just 2 miles from the football stadium where the Broncos played, a huge limousine that carried one of its rising stars sits riddled with bullet holes. Police say cornerback Darrent Williams was killed in an early morning drive-by shooting, just hours after the Broncos lost their final season game. A vehicle pulled up alongside Williams' limousine, and at least a dozen shots were fired.
We're looking for a white GM model, either Suburban or Tahoe, with dark tinted windows.
Several hours after the shooting, a homicide detective and Denver Crime Lab team were still at the scene, taking photos, gathering evidence, and trying to determine a motive. The shooting may have stemmed from an argument in a bar.
They got into an argument, and then they left that club or bar, and the guys followed them and opened fire on the car.
Sports reporter and former Bronco player Reggie Rivers says the team is in shock.
He's one of our go-to guys in the locker room because he's always so affable.
The 24-year-old was a Broncos newcomer, number 27 and well-liked. Friends say Williams had a big heart and a bright future. Williams was a second-round draft pick and started 9 times during his rookie season. He wanted to set up a free football camp for kids and go back to his home state of Texas to encourage them to stay out of gangs. In Denver, Jennifer Miller, CBS 2 News.
And before the shooting, Williams and the others were at a club that was hosting a birthday party for Denver Nuggets player Kenyon Martin.
This morning, the cleanup effort is underway in Colorado after another fierce winter storm dumped up to 10 feet of snow on the Denver area. Right now, officials are preparing to truck in groceries to restock empty store shelves. They're also trying to figure out how to get the much-needed hay to cattle in the area. Civil Air Patrol pilots say they are willing to drop hay bales down to several herds they have spotted from the air. Colorado emergency officials say crews have rescued more than 650 stranded motorists since that storm began. Nothing like that around here.
Oh, really feel for the folks in Denver, and we haven't really even seen a flake to speak of.
It's almost a record. We're like 3 or 4 days away from an all-time record.
And the temperatures, too, flirting with that record territory. Good news for the Central Plains, though. They get a break today, a day to shovel out. Well, you made it through the holidays. Now it's back to work, back to school for many of us. Good news, the weather is going to cooperate, get you outside and on your way. We've got temperatures above normal by about 10 degrees. Queens should be 39 this time of the year, 49 for you. We've got 40s, upper 40s for Long Island and into central New York as well, 49 in Princeton. Around the country, I want to give you that update for the Central Plains. They're dry, in fact, some nice mild air. For some of the plains all the way up to the northern plains, the other big story is wet weather pushing into the Pacific Northwest and dry Santa Anas in the southwest.
All right, thanks so much, John.
And still to come.
He took everything in stride, never complained.
The American who took care of Saddam for a year and a half reveals the brutal dictator had a softer side.
Also, trying to beat the ban, Starbucks makes a move involving trans fats, and it is not limited to New York City.
A live look now from Washington, D.C. Gerald R. Ford lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda. The funeral set to begin in just a few hours. More details coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. I'm Maurice DuBois. I anchor CBS 2 News this morning.
My name is Christine Johnson. I anchor the noon and 5 o'clock newscasts on CBS 2.
I'm Kate Sullivan. I anchor CBS 2 News this morning.
I'm Chris Raggi, and I anchor the noon and 5 o'clock newscasts here on CBS 2.
I'm Jim Rosenfield. Anchor CBS 2 News at 6 and 11.
I'm Dana Tyler. I anchor the 6 and 11 o'clock news at CBS 2.
Class, pass your test forward.
When kids go to school sick, their germs go with them, and they go a long way. Always cover your mouth and nose with a tissue, or cough or sneeze into your sleeve to keep your hands clean. Wash your hands often, or use a hand sanitizer. If you're sick, stay home. A reminder from your state and local health departments to please keep your germs to yourself.
This is the Levines' first holiday season as a couple, and they're simply finding joy in each other. Evelyn Williams' family just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and little Maria Diaz is going to wait up for Santa for the first time. ShopRite knows how much these days are looked forward to, how fast they seem to go, and how long they'll be remembered.
Sharing memories is easy at ShopRite. Click on ShopRite.com and go to Order Digital Prints. Enter your zip code, select your ShopRite, upload your photos, place your order, and pick up your prints the next day, all for 19 cents a photo.
How'd he kill him?
Stabbed and shot. Your son was the only one that got out alive. He may have seen something.
So you're going?
Yeah. And is that all right? Whether you know it or not, you're the rock of my team. I'll miss you.
Don't let the year end without seeing our bold new lineup at the Dodge Premier event. The all-new Nitro is pumping adrenaline alongside the fuel-efficient new Dodge Caliber. They join Dodge Magnum and Charger, both with available electronic stability program. And Grand Caravan with stow-and-go seating and storage.
Right now, well-qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can get a low-mileage lease on a 2007 Nitro for $249 a month.
Check out Caravan and the entire Dodge lineup before the year is over.
Good morning and welcome back. Time now 6:24. We know he waged wars and carried out genocide, but did you know that Saddam Hussein liked to feed the birds with crusts of bread he saved from his meals? This morning, Saddam's U.S. nurse is portraying the executed dictator in a very different light. The world has known Saddam Hussein in life and in death, but now a different side of the dictator is revealed.
Never complained, and if he did have a complaint, it was legitimate.
Master Sergeant Robert Ellis is the American nurse who cared for the captured Saddam from January 2004 to August 2005. He says Saddam wrote poetry and liked the outdoors.
There was a yard out back where he could walk around. He had a little recreation yard that he could walk around in. He had a little garden that he called that he would water, but it was just some weeds.
Saddam shared with Ellis happier times when his children were young, how he told them bedtime stories, and how he would give his daughter half a Tums when she complained of a stomach ache. Ellis said that when he told Saddam he had to leave for America because his brother was dying, Saddam hugged him and said he would be his brother. Sometimes the conversation was serious, like when Saddam asked Ellis why the U.S. invaded Iraq in the first place.
He said, laws here are fair. He said, they didn't find anything. And that's why I told him that was politics, soldiers don't get caught up into politics.
Ellis says his supervisor insisted the ultimate goal was to keep Saddam alive.
He says Saddam Hussein cannot die in U.S. custody. You do whatever you have to do to keep him alive. If you have to strap him to a litter or put a line in him or whatever it is you need to do, you do it.
Meanwhile, Sunni Muslims angry at how Saddam's execution was carried out continue to protest in various parts of Iraq.
Still to come, Gerald R. Ford's funeral. Take a live look now at the Capitol Rotunda in Washington. We'll have all the details of the state funeral to be held in just a few hours.
In this city, when it comes to exposing corruption, crime, and scandals, no one looks out for you like the CBS 2 investigative team. Scott Weinberger, Kirsten Cole, T.Y. Chang, the CBS 2 Investigation Unit.
At first, we couldn't understand. The birth of our baby was supposed to be a happy time. And then we found out that Anna has cerebral palsy. How did this happen? The medical bills. Then one night, John asked, what's going to happen to Anna when we're gone?
If you think your baby's cerebral palsy may have been caused by a medical mistake, call Silberstein, Awad, and Miklos at 1-877-ASK-4-SAM.
What we really want are answers.
Every 12 seconds, someone in America buys a new Chevrolet, like the 07 Impala LS that can get 31 miles per gallon highway. And now Impala comes with something Honda and Toyota don't. The best coverage in America, including the GM 100,000-mile warranty. Learn more. Go to Yahoo and click Autos. See for yourself. Shop and compare at ChevyOffers.com.
He's being remembered as a decent and honorable man. Tonight, America says goodbye to President Ford. See why more people are watching the CBS Evening News on CBS 2.
There's no other feeling like it. The excitement, the thrill of getting the perfect mattress at the perfect price during Sleepy's Holiday Mattress Sale going on now. Get big savings on America's largest selection of famous brand mattresses. Save 20% off other stores' advertised prices on same or comparable mattresses, or it's free. Finance and pay no interest for 36 months. Sleepy's Holiday Mattress Sale.
Trust Sleepy's for the rest of your life.
Going on now.
Since you were a child, you've been asked to share and share alike. Since, at heart, you're still a child, we invite you to share and share a love. 4-night packages, including round-trip airfare from JFK, start at only $815. Call 1-877-LIBERTY to book.
CBS 2, News Radio 880. Together, we're New York's biggest force for news.
America's emotional goodbye to Gerald Ford. In 4 hours, funeral services will be held at the National Cathedral. You're looking at a live picture of Gerald Ford lying in state there. Later today, a single bell will toll 38 times for our 38th president. Good morning and welcome in on this National Day of Mourning. I'm Kate Sullivan.
And I'm Brendan Keefe, in for Maurice DuBois. We'll take you to Washington in just a moment.
But first, we want to welcome John Elliott, the newest member of our morning team. He's getting your day started with your exclusive forecast from CBS 2 and the Weather Channel. Hi, John.
Hey, thank you, Kate. Appreciate that. And I think you're going to appreciate the weather today. After the rain yesterday, well, we are going to see more sun today, and temperatures start to climb. Temperatures outside right now. 44 is the pick temp from West Hampton up to Bridgeport over to Caldwell. We've got 45 in Central Park. Monticello is down about 2 degrees from last hour. That's typical this time of year when you drop these hours before you start to warm up. Speaking of warming up, we're going to 49 today. That's 10 degrees above normal. Nice mix of sun and clouds, but do watch out for those gusty winds out of the west and north before we see even warmer air head your way over the next few days. That forecast headed your way in the next few minutes. Right now, though, right back to Brendan and Kate.
Doesn't look bad at all. Thank you, John.
And it's warming up on the roadways as well. Liz Burke has your Metro traffic report. Hello, Liz.
Hi there, Brendan and Kate. Back to work, back to school. Here we go, and we are getting a little bit busy on the roads now. We do have a delay on the inbound Pulaski Skyway. The accident is out of the way after the Kearney ramp, but we do see a long stretch of delay across the span, so watch out for that backup. In Westchester, you have on the southbound Springbrook Parkway right after Route 100, the right lane blocked with a stalled vehicle there. Out on Long Island, watch for a crash on the westbound side of the Southern State Parkway between exits 29 and 28. Troopers are on the scene, and we do have a slow go. That accident is on the shoulder. We'll take it outside and show you the Queensboro Bridge, and we're looking good inbound and outbound. No problems for the Queens Midtown Tunnel either. If you do take the train, checking out Metro North, NJ Transit, the path Long Island Railroad, they're all running on or close to schedule so far. The Holland Tunnel is now looking at about a 10-minute wait as you head inbound. The rest of your Hudson River crossings are looking good. Alternate side parking rules are in effect. Brendan and Kate.
Liz, thank you very much. A funeral service will be held in Washington this morning for Gerald R. Ford, the 38th President of the United States. He died last week at the age of 93. After the casket lies for a short time outside of the Senate door, the motorcade will leave the Capitol building, pass by the White House, and then arrive at the National Cathedral for the state funeral. CBS 2's Chris Raggi is there, live from Washington, with more. Good morning, Chris.
Kate, good morning. Yes, preparing for a big day here in our nation's capital. Gerald Ford, the accidental president, a man who never sought the office of the presidency, but in his brief 2+ years at the Oval Office, most feel he had a profound effect on a nation in turmoil. Ford's body still lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda at this time. Today's funeral service scheduled, like you mentioned, for 10:30 a.m. Yesterday and last night, people from all over, of all ages, paying their final respects.
My kids, it's a legacy being made here. You know, they get to see this and they get to look back and say, I saw history being made. I was there.
The nation prepares this morning to say a final farewell to former President Gerald Ford. This amid last-minute preparations and incredibly intense security. Yesterday, thousands lined up, young and old, to file past the flag-draped coffin at the Capitol Rotunda. President Bush and the First Lady paid their respects after returning from their Texas ranch. He's expected to give a eulogy at today's service. Today's funeral is one which former President Gerald Ford helped arrange and plan with his advisors.
This funeral was being planned just as Jerry Ford anticipated it and planned it himself, which is keep things low-keyed.
Motorcades are frequent and the heavy police presence is apparent as the world's leaders gather for the funeral. CBS News' Harry Smith spent some time at the Capitol to pay his respects.
This is about paying respects to a more common man who, you know, I think a lot of people feel really did work for the common good.
Folks from our area say they had to be here, to be a part of history.
We thought it was a great opportunity to introduce the children to how special it is for a life of service, public service, and the way that the nation pays its respect to a former president like Gerald Ford.
It's just nice to really experience the history of, you know, a president going into the rotunda and paying your respects.
I think it's very interesting, the whole history and presidents and things like that.
After the funeral, the body of the former president will be taken to his hometown of Grand Rapids for another funeral service on Wednesday. His final resting place will be on the grounds of his presidential museum. Today at the National Cathedral, both Bushes, 41 and 43, will speak along with the Ford children, Tom Brokaw and Henry Kissinger. And as you can imagine, security, a major issue here in our nation's capital on this day. Live in Washington, D.C., I'm Chris Raggi, CBS 2 News.
And Chris, you called him the accidental president. Amazing that the only election he ever lost in his whole life was for re-election for president. And again, here is the schedule of events as the nation says goodbye to President Ford. At 10:30 this morning, a funeral service at the National Cathedral. His body will then be brought out of Washington. At 2:15 this afternoon, he will lie in repose at his presidential museum in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tomorrow at 1 in the afternoon, there will be a private service there in Grand Rapids. And at 3, President Ford will be buried at the Presidential Museum.
And be sure to stay with CBS 2 and WCBS-TV.com as events unfold today. Also, CBS News will have live reports from Washington, D.C. beginning at 10 a.m., anchored by Katie Couric.
An update now on some stories we're following today. This morning, Valerie Bell continues her vigil outside the 103rd Precinct Station House in Jamaica, Queens. She's on day 2 of a planned 50-day vigil, 1 day for each shot undercover police officers fired at her son, Sean Bell, and his 2 friends. And also this morning, New York's new governor, Elliot, is already making some big changes up in Albany. Spitzer has ordered his staff not to accept gifts from lobbyists, and he has barred them from using state cars or equipment for personal use. Starbucks is cutting the trans fat from its menus even before it has to. New York City's big ban begins in July, but the chain says it is removing trans fats from products it sells beginning tomorrow. Starbucks is eliminating trans fats in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Boston. So drink up.
Drink up, exactly. Time now, 6:36. Let's take a look at your forecast. After yesterday, which was so miserable and rainy, today looks better. Better days are ahead.
We've cut the trans fat and the rain from the forecast.
They're both out.
So just drink in that sun. We are going to see some
shot of that.
Absolutely. Exactly. It's my job. You know, you're going to like the weather over the next few days. Got some wind this morning, maybe a drop or two north and west of the city, but lowest levels of the atmosphere really starting to dry out. Blustery today, but boy, middle part of the week, temperatures well above normal. You know, you get the rain, you get the wind, you say bye-bye to the fog. Fog was really a downer yesterday, as many of us were wrapping up the holiday, but no big problems with fog, just a nice mix of sun and clouds. In fact, at the park we have clear and 45 degrees, winds out of the west 12, still gusting to 20. Winds will be a factor throughout the course of the day, high-profile vehicles. Also, you know, could see some blustery winds continue through the afternoon hours, so make sure you're ready for that. We will see the wind subside a little bit overnight with clear conditions. It's going to be a pretty night to look at. Here's what we're looking at number-wise. Now, I know it's early, and I know you don't want to test on this, but normally we'd be at 39 for a high if we're lucky on January 2. Today, 10 degrees above that. 27, the normal low. Really hard-pressed to find any 20s over the next few days. Maybe, again, to the north and west, higher elevations dealing with some temperatures closer to normal, but a lot of folks above normal. Sun's up 7:20, sun sets at 4:40. You should see a nice bit of sun today and even more sun for your Wednesday and Thursday. Cool and windy today, mild temperatures return by tomorrow, no cool down in sight, and in fact, it's going to be a record setter. The last time we saw snow this late, I think the day was January 6th, so we've got the 50s in the forecast all the way through the weekend, so we are going to see some records as far as that snow goes for downtown and Central Park. Temperatures around the area real quickly. We've got the mid-40s, 45 in Newark. We've got 44 in Stratfield and 42 in East Hampton. Temperatures above normal now and definitely this afternoon and over the next few days as well. Today probably the coolest day over the next few days. Still a little bit of spin in the atmosphere, some wraparound moisture. That's why maybe a drop or two, a little bit of snow to the north and west, but things drying out, and we are going to say bye-bye to the cool as we watch this area of high pressure bring in the winds now, but then by tomorrow, more energy out of the south, bringing in that warmer air with the sunshine as well, mild temperatures, and nice for the next few days, in fact, so get ready for it. Sunny and cool today, 49 the high, windy, watch out for that. We've got clear conditions for the most part, still some lingering winds though tonight. Tomorrow, oh, looking nice, plenty of sunshine, so how about it? Let's have your exclusive 5-day forecast from CBS 2 and the Weather Channel. Temperatures above normal, where are the 30s, where are the 40s? We've got a little chance of rain late Thursday into Friday, and then temperatures staying above normal for the next few days and beyond.
Wow.
Not bad at all.
It's going to be a record setter.
Absolutely. Well, and they're also setting records this morning in terms of traffic, only because this is the first day just about a lot of people are heading back to work. Liz Burke is in the traffic center with that. Hello, Liz.
Hello, Brendan. And we did have a reprieve for a while, but now we start to see some delays on the area roadways, especially on the Southern State Parkway out on Long Island, westbound side, dealing with an accident between exits 29 and 28. That's on the left shoulder, and the ride is slow. Eastbound, you're doing okay. In northern New Jersey, we have some debris on the roadway on Route 15 southbound. After Blue Heron Road, the right lane is closed there, and you are slow on that inbound Pulaski Skyway approaching the Kearney ramp, and that's after an earlier accident that was cleared. Let's take a look at the Lincoln Tunnel as you head into the city. We're looking at about a 15 to 20-minute wait as you head further into the tolls. George Washington Bridge, now that's up to 15 minutes, heavier on that inbound upper level, and if you take the Holland Tunnel, also a 15-minute delay from both approaches. The Tappan Zee Bridge still looks great. Mass Transit now, Metro North, NJ Transit, the PATH, LIRR, they're all running on or close to schedule, so that helps us out. And we do have an accident just in on eastbound 80. This is right at exit 38. The left lane is blocked there. Alternate side parking rules are in effect. Brendan and Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks, Liz.
Still to come at 6:40, why the delay on the subway? Strap hangers may be stunned to find out how it may have to do with what they're eating and what they're not eating.
And remembering the 38th President of the United States, Gerald R. Ford. The funeral will be held today, and a single bell will toll 38 times in his honor. The details on the funeral coming up next.
America runs on Dunkin's new white hot chocolate. One sip from this sweet, delicious treat, and you'll warm right up. Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.
WCBS-TV.com, the fastest growing New York TV news website. The latest news, weather, and traffic right on our homepage. Coupons, recipes, even restaurant listings and movie guides. WCBS-TV.com. We're always on. Make us your homepage.
the exciting new Chryslers before the year ends at the Chrysler Premier event. See the debut of our first SUV, the new Chrysler Aspen, and the all-new Sebring sedans. They join the new, more powerful Pacifica, the award-winning Chrysler 300 with available all-wheel drive, and the Town & Country with stow-and-go seating and storage.
Well-qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can get a low-mileage lease on the 2007 Town & Country Touring for $229 a month.
See Town & Country and the rest of our new lineup before the year is over.
What, do you got a degree in negotiating from Furniture U? He talked the manufacturer into lowering the price of this living room by $200 in honor of the grand opening of our new store on Route 22 in North Plainfield, New Jersey.
Sofa and love seat was $11.99. Now only $9.99.
Ladies, they are beautiful. And check this out. Throw pillows. We love them.
Can't use the love seat? How about sofa and chaise? Both pieces still only $9.99. Come on down.
Oh, yeah.
Wacky resolution.
Can Dr. Phil help a 22-year-old afraid to be without her blankie?
You hold your blanket and suck your thumb.
All new Dr. Phil.
People don't want to see that.
Today at 3, only on CBS2.
America runs on Dunkin's new chocolate chunk cookies. Freshly baked and chock full of rich, decadent chocolate. They're a delicious way to sweeten up your day. America runs on Dunkin'.
My old dandruff shampoo wasn't into black, so I switched to Selsun Blue.
Doctor recommended for flakes and itch for healthier hair and scalp.
Never wear black without the blue. Selsun Blue.
Good morning and welcome in. Time now 6:42. This morning, the MTA says strap hangers trying to lose weight are causing fellow passengers to wait longer for subways. CBS 2's Tamsin Fidel is live in Union Square with this story. Good morning, Tamsin.
Well, Kate, good morning. If you are delayed on your way to work when you take the train, the MTA is saying don't blame them. About 400 people per month are getting sick once they get on board, and a majority are women who are on crash diets.
It may be winter, but many women are apparently already planning for those bikini-clad summer months. According to the MTA, more and more women passengers are fainting every morning because they're not eating in order to keep that slender figure. That's right, the number 3 cause of subway disruptions between October 2005 and October 2006 is ill passengers, especially those skipping breakfast and oftentimes several meals before. 395 delays per month are caused by this and other health problems like flu and anxiety attacks, among others. The only thing causing more delays, track work and signal problems.
I do eat in the morning. I think it's better for you. It helps you get through the day more faster, especially for school. Yeah, so breakfast is good.
If they're thin and they're on the run all the time, they need to eat breakfast.
I don't think that's true. Not at all.
You don't?
No.
What do you think?
I think the delays are because the trains are just messed up. That's MTA. What do you expect?
If you do happen to be on board with a sick passenger, not to worry. The MTA is prepared with its Sick Customer Response Program, consisting of EMTs and registered nurses in place at several stations, including Union Square, 5th Avenue and 53rd Street, as well as Grand Central Station. But until the rider reaches one of those transit hubs, conductors must stay with the person until paramedics arrive, resulting in some major delays.
Now, Union Square is, again, one of those sick customer response stations. Bottom line, have something to eat with that cup of coffee, at least for the sake of your fellow strap hangers each morning. We're live in Union Square. I'm Tamsin Fidel, CBS 2 News.
Even a granola bar will hold you over. Thanks so much, Tamsin. Other stops with sick customer response stations includes Queens Plaza, Roosevelt Avenue, 125th Street, and Fulton Street.
Financial markets are closed today, so Wall Streeters are off. But for many Americans, it is back to work and a lying, sneaking boss. That's right. According to a new survey, bad bosses are all too common, leading to poor morale. Florida State University asked 700 people how they were treated by the boss. Nearly 40% said their supervisor did not keep promises. Nearly 25% say the boss invaded their privacy.
Great news to start 2007 with, right?
You're
My
saying
goodness.
somebody could be listening to our conversation right now?
It's very possible.
Our boss is definitely listening to it, and based upon our performance, he'll decide whether or not we're back tomorrow morning.
I better keep this clean.
Yeah, let's talk Jets and Giants quickly, okay?
Coming up in sports, we'll hear from Jets coach Eric Mangini about Sunday's playoff game, plus a wild Fiesta Bowl between Oklahoma and Boise State, a couple of trick plays. Sports coming up next.
Need a lift? Hi, I'm Jim Perdue. I'm delivering my fresh Perdue chicken to the store. Guaranteed fresh every day. That's why I can put fresh right on the label. Drumstick.
Perdue, a healthy obsession with chicken.
Next, E.T. and the Insider. Demi Moore in bed and in the buff. We have the Golden Girl exposed in Vanity Fair. What she says about her divorce from Bruce, her marriage to Ashton, and her daughter's friendship with Lindsay Lohan. Then Oprah's big day in Africa. We're on location with the star for her $40 million dream. Plus, our Dream Girls exclusive with Jennifer Hudson. And it's Victoria's Secret swimsuit season. Your first look.
Next, E.T. and Insider. Tonight at 7, only on CBS-2.
I can't believe that was you, girlfriend.
Oh, thanks. But I'll let you know a little secret. This is how I used to eat. Things like French toast, lasagna, pizza, chocolate cake.
No wonder you call Jenny Craig.
No, girl. That's what you eat on Jenny.
No way.
Way.
Eat food you love and still lose weight. Lose all the weight you want for just $49 plus the cost of food. So start your year out right.
Have you called Jenny yet? Snap.
Call 1-800-JENNY-20 today.
Happiness runs in a circular motion. Thought is like a little boat upon the sea. Happiness runs, happiness runs. Happiness
New Fruity Cheerios. With a touch of real fruit juice and 25% less sugar.
Happiness runs in a circular motion. Happiness runs.
What tastes good is good.
Happiness runs, happiness runs.
This chicken is just right. Why, it's Perdue Perfect Portions. They're perfectly sized to cook evenly and quickly, and they're individually wrapped.
Mr. Perdue, that's not how it goes.
Perdue Perfect Portions. Perfectly sized, perfectly packaged.
Time now 6:48. Today, a national day of mourning. Our 38th president lying in state right now in the Capitol Rotunda. We will go back to Chris Raggi with more on the funeral of Gerald R. Ford, which is scheduled for later today.
And that's why here in New York, the financial markets are closed today as well. Time to talk sports.
Both the Jets and the Giants are in the postseason. The Jets will be taking on the New England Patriots. The Giants will be taking on the Washington. They just beat the Washington Redskins. The Giants will be taking on the Eagles. Big games coming up this weekend for both teams. The Jets are 8.5-point underdogs to the Patriots for Sunday's playoff game. But then again, the Jets have been underdogs all season long, and look where they are now. The two teams split their two meetings this year. The Patriots won in Week 2, 24-17. The Jets turn the tables 8 weeks later in Foxborough, coming up with a victory in that rain-soaked game. Coach Mangini spent 6 years with the Pats. He knows his former team well.
We've been a long history of playing each other, but not a long history of playing each other in the playoffs. And whenever you get to play a division opponent for a third time, it's exciting.
Yeah, every week it gets bigger and bigger. First playoff game against the Patriots. They won Super Bowl, throughout the last 4 years. Just fortunate enough to be in this situation.
It's a playoff game, and if you don't win, you're done. So we're going to go up there, and we're just going to try to give it our all.
Team had 4 wins last season, 4-12, and in the postseason. Amazing turnaround. All right, the Giants are in the postseason as well. Not quite sure if it's well-deserved. This team went 2-6 over the second half of the season. The Giants visit Philadelphia Sunday afternoon, 4:30. The two division rivals meet again. It will be the third meeting this season. They split the first 2 games. In Game 1, Eli Manning led a furious fourth-quarter comeback that resulted in an overtime victory. In Game 2, Eli Manning had his struggles, a pair of interceptions, including this one by Trent Cole that was returned to the house. The Giants are 6.5-point dogs for Sunday's game. All right, some New Year's Day Bowl results. West Virginia beats Georgia Tech in the Gator Bowl. Penn State tops Tennessee in the Outback Bowl. Rose Bowl, USC and Michigan. New Jersey native Ryan Cushing, 2.5 sacks and a forced fumble for him. USC's Dwayne Jarrett, also from New Jersey, a man among boys. 11 catches, 204 yards, and 2 touchdowns. USC cruises 32-18. Fiesta Bowl, Oklahoma and Boise State. Boise State down 7 with 15 seconds to play. The old hook and ladder play. No way. Gerard Rabb takes it the rest of the way. Game time, we're going OT. In OT, Boise State down 7 again. Vinny Peretta catches a TD pass. Get this, Boise State goes for 2 in the win. The old Statue of Liberty play. Where's the ball? It's in Ian Johnson's hands. He's in the end zone. Boise State wins 43-42 to finish the season at 13-0. And look at this. Johnson, who scored that winning conversion proposes to his cheerleader girlfriend, and she says yes, and they live happily.
She better say yes after all.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You imagine she said no?
What
do you do then?
You know, we've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
That's unusual, a football player and a cheerleader.
Yeah, very rare combo.
You don't see that very much.
No, not really, no.
When I was in high school, you didn't see that. See, I was on the chess team, and all the cheerleaders, they loved us.
The chess team was hot in high school.
I was in the AV club, though.
Doesn't surprise me.
That's how I ended up here, folks.
Hey.
All right.
Takes all kinds. Thanks so much, Ducis. Appreciate it.
Takes all kinds. Thanks.
We'll be right back with more weather and traffic. Stay with us.
You were the cheerleader, weren't you?
No, I wasn't, actually.
What was your car doing in the shop?
I blew the engine, racing it.
Why is that funny?
That's not funny.
It's a case of who gets the last laugh.
I guess it was a dumb idea.
Dumb ideas come from people who have dumb brains.
Judge TV, today at 4, only on CBS 2.
It's all-you-can-eat pancakes at IHOP. People everywhere flipping for that fluffy goodness. And try our rich, robust coffee, and you'll flip too. All-you-can-eat pancakes with all your favorites. For a limited time, only at IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
Why shouldn't people live in their living rooms?
Why can't a bookcase expand with your mind?
Why shouldn't sofas come in flavors?
Why can't pillows fight with each other?
Don't miss the IKEA winter sale and save 20 to 60% on select items throughout the store.
Do you see an HD?
IO Digital Cable brings you over 20 HD channels with no equipment to buy and no contracts to sign. And unlike satellite, HD is free with IO Digital Cable. Call 1-866-949-HD-TV or visit doyouseeinhd.com because everything about HD is better with IO.
CBS 2's Scam Alert keeps you way ahead of the bad guys. Kirsten Cole reveals their latest dirty tricks and how you can hold on to your money. Scam Alert, only on CBS 2 News.
What does every sip of Tropicana Pure Premium taste like? Wake up to a fresh squeeze of optimism. The amazing, straight from the orange taste of Tropicana Pure Premium.
Dana Tyler and Jim Rosenfield. Weeknights on CBS 2 News at 6 at 11. Closed captioning on CBS 2 is brought to you by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Time now, 6:54. Good morning and welcome back. It is a national day of mourning today. Federal offices across the country are closed, as well as the stock market. Our 38th president there lying in state at the Capitol Rotunda.
And a big focus for us this morning and also on the early show. Let's check in with Hannah Storm live in Washington, D.C. Hannah.
Happy New Year, Brendan, and to you too, Kate. Coming up this morning on the early show, we are here for special coverage of President Gerald Ford's funeral service this morning here in Washington at the National Cathedral. President Bush and the 3 living former presidents are going to be among those paying their final respects. And we're going to be speaking with a number of people, including the Ford family's pastor, the Reverend Robert Surton. He delivers the homily today. Also, Harry has a very interesting chat with Senator Bob Dole, who, as you know, ran for vice president with Ford back in 1976. And former CBS News correspondent Phil Jones, who covered the Ford White House, is going to talk about the exclusive interview that he did with Ford that could not be aired until after his death. All of that leading up to Katie Couric's special coverage of the funeral beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So all of that and much more in just a few minutes on the early show. We'll see you guys then.
Okay, thank you very much, Hannah. And one more time, let's bring in CBS 2's Chris Raggi.
That's right, he's live near the U.S. Capitol. Chris?
Guys, thank you very much as we wrap things up here this morning. A national day of mourning, as we've mentioned, all morning long for the 38th President of the United States, Gerald R. Ford. Real quickly, here is a live picture of President Ford's flag-draped coffin lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda. Ford's body will be moved to the doors of the Senate for a brief stop, then on to the National Cathedral for today's funeral service. A quiet, serene setting right now, a sharp contrast to some of the more emotional moments seen yesterday. Ford's wife of 58 years, Betty Ford, joined by the 4 children, Steve, Jack, Susan, and Michael. Also yesterday, President Bush, accompanied by the First Lady Laura Bush, made a brief stop before visiting with Betty Ford. Bush Sr., Bill and Hillary Clinton also paying their respects, along with thousands of people who made their way in and out of the Capitol building to pay their final respects to the 38th President of the United States. Now, after today's ceremony, President Ford's body will be taken to Andrews Air Force Base, then on to Grand Rapids, Michigan, his hometown, for his final resting place in one more service tomorrow afternoon. Live in Washington, I'm Chris Raggi, CBS 2 News. We'll see you later on in the day, guys.
We certainly will. Thank you very much, Chris. And be sure to stay with us for complete coverage. CBS News will have live reports from Washington, D.C. beginning at 10 a.m., anchored by Katie Couric.
And let's get a check of your weather now with the newest member of the morning team, John Elliott. Good to see you again, John.
Welcome.
Great to be here. Happy to be here. Weather in the capital today is going to cooperate, and weather locally is going to be nice as well. We are going to see temperatures above normal. Temperatures outside right now about 5 degrees higher than they should be this afternoon. 45 in Central Park. We've got 40s almost everywhere. Tonight, similar repeat. We'll see temperatures in the 40s before we start to warm things up for your Wednesday into Thursday with those highs in the mid-50s. A little bit of wraparound moisture still to deal with, maybe a drop or two north and west of the city, but lowest levels of the atmosphere drying out. So some of this, you see it on the radar, but it disappears before it hits your car or your shoes or the backyard. So this is what we're looking at over the next few days. Blustery winds today, so kind of a blustery day with those temperatures above normal, but still feeling cool. Wednesday into Thursday, mid-50s, spring-like. Thursday, just feeling fabulous. Thursday night into Friday, another little system bubbles up from the south, so we may see some more rain. Won't be as much rain as we saw just yesterday. Then Saturday into Sunday into Monday, temperatures staying above normal, so we are going to set some records as far as the arrival of any snow in Central Park. So get used to it, get out the sunscreen, and enjoy.
So those rain showers we saw on the radar, that's Virga?
That is Virga, not Vega.
Oh, right.
Virga, as it evaporates before it hits the lowest levels right before where we see it on our glasses.
Right. Well, what's Vega then?
Well, it's a Chevrolet product, and we're not allowed to talk about it.
Right, very good. Thanks very much, John.
A lot of people heading to work for the first time in a long time. Let's head over to Liz Burke in the Metro Traffic Center, see what the roadways are looking like. Hi, Liz.
Oh, yes. Hi, Kate. Happy New Year, everyone. And we are getting very busy this morning, especially on the Williamsburg Bridge. We just found out about a disabled car on the Williamsburg Bridge. This is Manhattan bound. The right lane is blocked on the inner roadway before the Brooklyn Tower. So Brooklyn bound, you're doing okay. Manhattan bound is where we have the problem. You're doing just fine on the Brooklyn Bridge as well as the Manhattan Bridge if you want to opt for one of those. Over to the Belt Parkway, slowing down now. Westbound delays between Rockaway Boulevard and Lefferts Boulevard. Watch out for that. Out east on Long Island, we still have trooper activity on the Southern State Parkway. That's causing delays westbound on the Southern State between exits 29 and 28. That trooper activity is on the shoulder. Checking out your Hudson River crossings, getting into New York City, looking at the inbound Lincoln, we're looking at about a 20-minute delay. George Washington Bridge, looking at that live, about 10 minutes at the tolls, a little bit better on the lower level than the upper level. The Holland is looking at a 15-minute wait. That's heavier. Tappan Zee traffic is building now Westchester bound. Your trains are running on or close to schedule. Alternate side is in effect. Brendan and Kate, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Liz.
Glad to have you with us today. We will have another check for you on news, traffic, and weather in just 25 minutes.
And you can watch CBS 2 News wherever you are for live streaming of the CBS 2 News at noon, 5, 6, and go to our website at WCBS-TV.com. Thanks for watching. For John, Ducis, Liz, and the entire CBS News team, I'm Brendan Keefe in for Maurice DuBois.
And I'm Kate Sullivan. The early show is straight ahead. Have a great Tuesday.
Good morning, I'm Harry Smith at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., where the late President Gerald Ford will be honored one final time on this National Day of Mourning. Today's services will be attended by President Bush and the 3 living former presidents. We'll have complete coverage.
And I'm Hannah Storm, also in Washington, where we'll be looking back at President Ford's life and the way in which he carried our country through turbulent times. And we'll speak to some of the people who knew him best early this Tuesday morning, January 2nd, 2007.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Harry Smith. Julia's off this morning, and Hannah Storm is with us in Washington, D.C., as we are here, of course, to mourn the passing of the United States President, the 38th President of the United States, Gerald Ford.